Big up, big up, big up, and welcome to Liberal 12th Man Show. I'm the Liberal 12th Man, and we are at Transfer Day. Yes, big day in the Prem, big day across Europe, pretty much, because today is the day that a lot of the teams are going to be making last-minute deals, and most notably, most likely, the reason why you're here is to find out or at least be on the update and alert for the deals that are going to be made for our beloved Reds. So yeah, there's a bunch of things going on. Big up to Trap Joe, big up to Hylor, big up to Lee WizKid. What is good? We might be joined by our co-pilots today in a little bit. They have their flight details. I'm just waiting to see if they are going to be joining us or not. But all the same, I am here to do my best in giving you guys what we have. We have our correspondents from all over the world as well helping us out. I can see Hylor is in the chat, obviously. So big up to him. He's one of our versions of Fabrizio. He's the German version of our Fabrizio, at least. So big up to Hylor. Irishman is with us. So let me bring in the Irishman. Hold on one second. Let me also just get this all set up. Irishman, you there? You good?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you loud and clear. How are you doing?
Yeah, very good. Just
very good.
Sorry for being late. I couldn't find my.
Oh, no worries.
I was on the other show and I kind of lost track of time, and then actually couldn't find my headphones because when you do that thing where you're like, oh, I'm going to put them there now, so I'll know where they are when I need them.
Yeah.
You forget, and it's yeah, I put them in the bloody box thing.
Yeah, you put them in the spot that they're supposed to be. Now you're not used. Gotta get used to that routine. I feel you.
Yeah, I don't think I'm not like we haven't missed anything, have I? We haven't gone and
no, there really hasn't been any crazy updates. There really hasn't been any really eye stunning eye stunning updates to announce just as of yet. There's still a lot of what's going to happen with Sancho, or what's going to be happening with with Sterling, those kinds of things, different story. But for us, nothing really crucial just yet. We all know that Salzburg is the spot now for Bajcetic. He's going to be on loan to Red Bull. So that's like one of the other updates. I guess another update is what is going to be the verdict or the final destination for Nat Phillips? Is he going to remain here another year, or is he going to be set to go to Derby County and actually join them? I know that Ben Doak still is in the talks about what happens with him, especially now that we brought in our Italian. So it's those are only the two big ones. There are some other ones that are out there, like if you're judging it by the betting world, you know what I mean? Like as in if you're going by what the betting world has out there, they still have Jared Brantwaite as being the odds-on favorite of the next major deal that we make. Eze is also joint second favorite actually, and with and Anthony Gordon still for some reason out there as being an absolute betting option if you want to go. It's the 10 to 1 odds that Anthony Gordon joins our team still. And I think Mark Gahey is at 7 to 2. So I don't know if those, you hear those betting, obviously the betting odds. I'm not suggesting nor am I encouraging betting right now. What all I'm saying is that's just the odds set by the bookmakers out there. And they are always affected by who gets involved in the actual betting. That can move that number up or down. But it does make it interesting to see that some of those names are the more likely or predominant names on the books. Those are the names that are at the top of the list. Do you have some names to add to that? Oh, I forgot to add. There's also Ollie Watkins is also in that list for some reason. By the way, he's at the bottom. He's like 7-1 or something like that. But,
oh, I don't snap, crackle, and pop at the
yeah,
moment.
right. Exactly.
Like Barnes is saying, it looks like if there was any kind of LFC, somebody pop up some LFC news, it's more likely than not that we're actually selling somebody or moving somebody on. Which,
right.
At this stage of a window, the chances of something happening, it is what it is. But there's probably the one or two interesting things might be left to happen, but it's probably not. Yeah, it's definitely got anything to be in our yard. Like, we can probably shut up shop and turn off the lights.
Right.
It's a bit disappointing. It was going to be more of an opportunistic kind of thing where we would have had people and agents and the kind of football people just sort of there ready to just say, look, if something happens, keep everybody abreast of it. If there's a player that we have been looking at, if something happens, then we might be able to move, just in terms of, say, maybe even like a different version of Diaz thing where it's someone we might be looking at for the future. But Atalanta have just bid 15 million for them. Well, let's go in and match that bid and get that guy early. But I can't see us now having anybody that's going to come in and just go 60, 70 million, huge player, everybody's out celebrating. I think they kind of let that cat out with a bag yesterday. Most of them pretty much said, look, unless something happens, nothing will happen. If you know what I mean, unless someone comes in and says, here's 50 million for Gomez, or here's 60 million for Diaz, or here's 80 million for Darwin. Like, unless someone comes in and does a big thing, then there's probably nothing that's going to happen, which is, it has landed a bit flat, I suppose. We didn't get what we thought we were going to get, what we all thought we needed. But we're all prepared to look at what we have in terms of results and say, well, if we can keep that going for 6 months. But yeah, I don't know. There's no champagne corks here. It's an okay window.
Well, and I know I can see Barnes is. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder why Barnes rejoices so much. Is in that right now there's no names involved. I understand it definitely proves Barnes right, but or not him somewhat right. I mean, but I was just gonna say, like, if anything, if there's no big names worth going for, it's nothing to do with ambition. It's just more so, if there's no big names worth going for, then we're not going to make the move. I would prefer for our club to not make stupid moves. Like, I don't want to see our club make acquisitions simply to make acquisitions. We've seen our club do that before too, by the way. We've in the
I just find it hard to be. I find it hard to believe there's nobody out there that can improve the team in the centre half area and in the defensive midfield area. Not like, takes to the next level. It doesn't have to be 80 million quid. It could be 10 million quid. It could be some guy no one's ever heard of. It could be some French defender or some German defender. But I find it a little bit difficult that we couldn't not go out, and didn't have to be Bastone, it didn't have to be something else, but just someone, oh, look, they've got a defender, he's going to cover that role. Look, they've got a defensive midfielder. But yeah, I also get the line that you can't really improve certain areas of this squad for less than going out and getting some guy for 80 million quid. And those aren't always easy to find, and they're not always easy to bring in, but a lot of things just seem to have kind of come together at the same time. Whereas you would have had periods like this where it was difficult to get players,
Right.
but we still would have ended up just bringing in 2 or 3, just kind of different things. And it's just, I don't know. Look, it's a difficult position to be in for a lot of people. Expecting new players, new manager, new players, and we've sold so many players. That's probably the main, right? Because we just sold so many players
Right.
that
But
it's
isn't
probably
that, is that, can I ask you real quick though? Isn't that kind of like I want to say false equivalency? Because like I get you're saying we've sold a lot of players, and I've gotten,
yeah.
but we've also sold fringe players, so we sold players that are
No, I said it. Well, hey, look, I said it last week. I said we haven't sold anybody that played a minute for us last season.
okay.
I know, like I said that. It's just like I was just saying on the site, we've been selling a lot of players, a lot of outs, people, well, we get a few in maybe,
Right.
and we ended up bringing in one, and he was a right
Right.
winger, or not one to offend anybody, an attacker,
Right.
So everyone's like, oh, look, the least we'll do is get a DM, especially after the Zubamendi thing. So it was obvious that we wanted one. And everyone out there to say, look, we wanted, like I can't, look, I can dress up a lot of things as well, but I can't dress up really, not making any strengthening acquisitions in certain key areas, like a Matip replacement or Thiago replacement or something like
But
that. As long as it happens in January, it's not like I said, it's not like we're never going to buy players again. We will buy players, but I'm just
right.
trying to look at it from everybody's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
But also, I know that you also, and this is and this is why, again, I'm not necessarily saying that we couldn't have improved. You've heard me before. I've said that I would love to see
every team can improve.
Bastoni come in or something like that. Sure, absolutely.
Every team can always improve. Even Man
Yeah,
City, Barcelona, that's how you keep going.
exactly.
Real Madrid, you
Right.
buy
Even
better
Real
players out.
Madrid can improve. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
If that
always. The
wasn't
only
the
way to
case, then
keep
they
going.
wouldn't be, doing what
Yeah.
they've been doing. So, but that's obvious. But what
Yeah.
I was trying to get at is when you do look at how Liverpool has always, or not always, but has as of since this administration has brought in the Edwards and the Ian Grahams and there was I'm trying to think of Ian Graham's Ian Graham had a boss before there was an Ian Graham before Ian Graham, I believe, but all the same.
Ian Gray, no, not really. Kind of, no. He was the first guy. There was him and 2 guys basically.
Yeah,
He was
there's
the
2 other
first.
guys though with them, right? That's
Well,
what I mean.
he brought in. Yeah, he was like
Yeah,
our first ever head of data analytics. He was saying like it was basically just me and 2 guys and a computer,
yeah,
and
yeah.
not and a computer, but you know what I'm saying. But it was just
Right,
him and 2
right.
guys, and now it's 20 people or so. No, but look, I know. Look, I'm fully
And
on
that's
board with what we're doing. It's just that I can understand where the whole. I mean, you can look at it one way and say,
mm,
okay, we're holding tight.
mm-hmm,
We're holding tight. We're getting rid of it. I've been very much in terms of this new broom needs to be big, and we've done that. But
mm-hmm,
there's also you need to be. Also, you can see why. Okay, why we're not in. Like it would be different if we brought in 4 players and they were all clearly not up to scratch, kind of already. Where we going? Hang on, why do we bring these jokers in for? It's
right,
just because we brought nobody in other than Chiesa for this season. We
right.
can't really assess it because we're assessing thin air.
Mm-hmm,
All we can talk about is the players that we've let go, the player that we tried to buy, Zubamendi,
right,
Chiesa's that come in, and the keeper. So we're
right.
kind of we're in a bit of a vacuum here of no information in
Mm-hmm.
terms of what we are trying to do or who we're trying to bring in. So I can see all sides of it, but I'm just at this stage. I just put my head down, and we are what we are at the moment. We said it a few days ago. My money was on January before we did
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
That's just the way that's the way it was looking. As soon as Zubamendi was done, we were always going to pull the plug because we put so much into that. There was definitely not a number 2. There should always be a 1, 2, and 3, but we tried to get a bit, this guy and only this guy. Okay, fair enough. But one injury in the wrong place, and then too many cup games or whatever it might be, more games in the Champions League, and pretty quickly things will start to look like, hang on a minute, well, who's going to play at the weekend?
Right.
Because we've got Madrid at home on Wednesday, or we So we might be kind of hoping to get to January quite quick, but hopefully then this we get one or two. Now this will be me going full, kind of football romantic or whatever you want to call it. Might say by said it shout that would have been last year had he been fit. Maybe this opens up a spot and you get a trainee only that comes in, and the
I think
next thing you know,
that's not
or it
only
could be,
that's not even spot on. I mean I think that's what is going to happen. Training only
there'll be,
will get opportunities this year.
yeah. Well, Dom will hurt his ankle, or someone will hurt their knee, or McAllister will get the flu, and like I said, we'll have a big game at the weekend, and we'll be a bit tired. If we don't buy anybody, you'll get, you know, it's nice to have, like Pep Guardiola said today, he doesn't like to have a long, long, long squad, is what he said. He doesn't like to have a big squad because the
Mm-hmm.
last thing he wants to do is have a dressing room full of about five players who haven't played a game in about 5 weeks because he knows what
Right.
that does to a dressing room. It poisons it. Now, Bielsa was the other end. If it was up to Bielsa, he'd have about 14 players and no substitutes. That'd be it. They don't,
Excuse me. Mm-hmm.
so, it, it's tight. It's a decent squad, but one injury in the wrong key area, of course, it's like you don't plan
Certainly.
for it,
I mean,
but just
that's a
in the
concern.
key area.
I
And
Right, and that's
hopefully
not
we
a
don't get it.
concern. That's not a concern. That's just like solely Liverpool's. I mean, that's a concern for every
No,
club.
it's just football. It's just football. I mean, Messi
Exactly.
can go out and do his hip, or Neymar goes out or they've just spent. I mean, Arsenal have just brought in Mikel Mourinho, and Gabriel Martinelli just destroyed him in training and put him out for the first month. I mean, thanks very much. That's brilliant comedy. That's hilarious. But you know, that's just football. Yeah,
Right,
you but you can, what's the word, mitigate to a degree.
right,
To have a backup. It's like, well, if you're planning to go away for the weekend, and hey, look, if that car don't show up, we've got another one ready to go, so we're not having to ring around for a day. You'll have
right.
a backup plan. It's like, okay, cool.
I can understand
You
having
know,
a backup plan, but no one
it
really
has to
goes
be
and
go
says,
to.
no one really goes into it and says, okay, I'm going to just go out and continue to get players for when this player is going to get injured, as if you don't really
No, in
because
your squad. I mean, you need a backup plan in your squad,
yes,
already
yes,
in your squad. Sort of. It's like, so, okay, well, it's this and that and that, and of course you say, like, okay, look, if all three of our goalkeepers get injured, you can't plan for that. You just can't. If all four of our strikers get food poisoning on the same day, you can't. Oh well, why didn't you go out and buy a player? No, but
right.
usually
But
if
that
you have
seems
enough,
sometimes that's how the fan base sometimes looks at it. It's
yeah,
like
yeah, well,
they're like, how did you not prepare? How were you not ready to know that Simicast and Robbo were going to both get like shoulder injuries in a matter of like the same window of time? It's like who really prepares for that? You know, not many teams have not many teams really
no,
do.
the kind of people that prepare for stuff like that have like underground bunkers full of canned pigs and
Exactly.
things.
Yeah, those are some doomsday preppers.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, so it's like I agree that there are some and I saw MK Toe just say he doesn't think that it's too early for Neoni.
oh, it's
It's not like I expect from Neoni to be a everyday starter. We're not saying that. At least I believe I'm not saying that. I believe that that's
no,
also
no,
Christmas way of saying too.
no.
But he's going to get
And
opportunities though. You're going to Neoni. We've seen has certainly some skill sets that if you can give him the opportunities to get the experience in these games and with the team, it's going to be an asset. So you're going to utilize that opportunity and try to incorporate him into the game. Whether it's a cup game or which he was a part of last year.
no,
And
I
maybe
just think you'll see him.
yeah, good.
Yeah, I just think you'll see him this year, right?
Yeah,
Like he'll be that guy where people are like, oh, who's this Neoni kid? Where'd you get him?
yeah,
It's like, oh, I never heard him before. Now he's getting minutes and coming on against a certain team, but yeah, not none of neither of us are saying he's coming into the side and he's definitely. But I just think he's that guy that made enough of an impression in preseason where, yeah, he's got he got a promotion, you know.
yeah,
He's not
I
going
think
back to
that
the under 23s. He's going to sit on the bench for us. He's not getting into the first
I think he
team.
just scored actually. I think he scored in the game actually or something. I thought I saw something about him scoring just recently in one of their games. But yeah, he's going to get some opportunities. I think that's a blessing rather than like, oh, we're gonna. It's not like I don't think you're gonna rinse him by playing him in a game or two in the Premier League or obviously maybe even more, but he's not going to be the let's rely on the youngster like that.
No, there's a reason you go out and buy these guys, right?
No, there's a reason why, like everyone's you're high on Pachetic. I like Pachetic too. There's a reason why you guys are out there in the chat too. There's a reason why you guys are so high on Pachetic. It's because Pachetic got some early and unexpected starts. Is that not the truth?
Oh yeah, you have to see him. Like, I mean, people have to see these guys, before they can kind of, oh, this guy looks really good. So I mean, that's what happened with Nioni in the preseason. It's like, okay,
yeah,
it's it happens. Okay, it's like, oh, young kids, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do that. Yeah, but sometimes you kind of can't because they're good enough.
yeah,
It's for all
yeah.
you can't do this, you can't do that. Yeah, but every now and again, a kid comes along who is, we're not saying breaking into our first team, but shows that this guy's really good, and you can bring in 5 subs now.
Mm-hmm.
You can bring in how many players, 9 on the bench, so there's
Mm-hmm.
room for these guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. It's like this guy is someone who I think we will see play for Liverpool this season, and by
Yeah.
that I mean in certain scenarios. But I think he's very much impressed. So
Yeah.
like you can't just say age. Look, it always comes back to one thing. If you're good enough, you're old enough, right? Some people are, some people are fast tracked. Some people are better than you when they're 16. It's just how it is. It's just, you can't always
Mm-hmm.
say, oh, he's this, he's that. You need to hold him back. That's how the book way works. That's how the kind of the software way of doing it works. Sometimes there's a special kid. He's just good
And
enough to
yeah,
play. He's good enough to be in the squad, and in they go. And next thing you know, he's a player. Let it happen. Don't worry about, oh, he's this age, he's that age, can't burn him out. Look, just let it happen. Let it happen. If he's good enough, he's old enough. He plays. He plays.
yeah, yeah. I can agree with that, and that's how I see it. Like I'll bring up actually, everyone. We obviously let me bring up some of these photos actually. Share this tab here, and I'll make it so everyone can see it at least. This is basically our front six, and we can go through it. And if there's any updates or anything like that, I've got both my phones opened up here. I've got an additional screen. I got an additional screen set up so that if there any updates or any news, Liverpool news comes our way, I'll be quick to put it out there. And obviously, we got the chat that's always got our back as well. So, looking at our squad currently, this is our squad. This is our front six, at least. We have Mo Salah, we have Diego, we have Lucho, we have Cody, we have Darwin, and we have Chiesa. And we still have Ben Doak as of now. I think what's very unique about the situation, and this is why I'm saying what I am saying, is that what's unique about our situation, and we are going to get to the back line. That back line is something that I think that's primarily what a lot of people's focus on is either the back line or maybe even our DM. But with our front line, this is our front line. And we have 6 solid options in the front line. Plus, if we do keep Ben Doak, a 7th being a youth player, if you want to call him that, a young talent. How about that? Let's just call him a young talent, right? As the option, as the variable. If we then go on to, and it's a shame because I thought I had the Trey Neone one on here, but I only have this one with the 6. But if you look at this again, this is our midfield, and we have again Trey Neone, that youth player, as that seventh option variable of being somehow worked into the mix here and there. The DM role I get is something that people want to see.
Barnes. Stop it.
What's that?
It's a family show, Barnes. Stop it now.
Oh goodness. All right. So if you do look at this, I get the DM role could be a somewhat of some people's concerns. I know that's why there was talks about Alan Varela from
yes. Apparently there was a bit of a fake story meltdown over that last night. I missed that. Thank God.
Yeah, there was. I did my best to try to shoot that down at least. You gotta be quick and easy. I know that sometimes people want things to happen so badly, that you don't like. You want a DM, so you're like, you see someone post something, you're like, all right, I'm running with it, and before you recognize it, you're like, wait, Ornstein's spelled with and has an S in it. Where's the or something as simple as that. So that was the case yesterday with that little update from the Twitterverse. But I was
your yeah, no, sorry, and that's your there's only one out and out holding midfielder in that six.
McAllister, right?
No, holding midfielder now six is Endo. Endo really is young.
Okay.
Like Gravenberch is kind of double pivot type player. Elliot Jones, I'm not really sure what Jones is, to be honest. McAllister. So yeah, it is. There's numbers there, there's names there, but positionally, it's still thin. It's okay, but the front six that you just there's no need. I don't know. Chiesa was good to bring it. It rounds it out nicely in a sort of two for every. We have two front threes now, basically. You could swap either of them out. Like you could play Diaz, Jota, and Salah tomorrow, and if we were playing a European Cup game the next day, you could easily go Gakpo, Darwin, and Chiesa and be totally happy with it. Right. That's two really, really good front threes, and then you could mix and match it afterwards. But I think it's a bit of a clear kind of hierarchy there, the way it was done, like the top three, Salah, Diaz, and Jota, probably the first choice. Then you got Gakpo and Darwin and Chiesa behind them. That six there, if just say, for example, Marseille had offered another 4 million and Endo was gone, I think we'd have someone else.
Oh, absolutely. We would have an issue. That's my point. Yeah, we would have an issue. So, where I was about to. But
we'd have a new player. I mean, we would have a new player if we had.
We have a new player in.
We wouldn't be sitting there going, "Oh, we'll get to." No. This would be like, no, we can't go this thin. Because Elliot's not a six. He's not. Right. No, let's call it a six, a DM, a holding midfielder.
No, Elliot's not.
Isn't that? Elliot isn't that. Jones isn't that. Gravenberch could be that, but like a lot of people are saying, he's going to come up against.
Do you really not think have you seen him play for England?
Yeah, no, I just mean just somebody's got. I mean, they're not. They could be, and they might be, and they potentially will be. There's no one in there who goes, oh, he's that guy. He's a Rodri. And I'm not talking about quality of level or that. I'm not saying. I just mean a guy who's. I mean, we can try and look at it, but these are all kind of in between players, really. Other than Endo, they're all sort of mainly attacking, and then Gravenberch, who is deep lying. Kind of so, again, Jones, I'm not sure what role he plays in this slot team. I mean, we'll see him when he comes back. Elliot, I can see him as a 10. Sabazza is a 10. McAllister at the 8. So it is good numbers wise, and it might be enough to get us to where we need to be. But at some point, someone, like I said, look, we wanted to Mendy and we're pushing the boat. At some point, someone will come in. and we'd be like, oh, okay, that's the guy that plays. Like, I just can't wait to bring in someone who plays beside Gravenberch. And it's like, wow, what a hell of it. It's a brilliant double play. That's a double pivot. And then we get to choose between Szoboszlai and McAllister ahead of them, or
wait. So
McAllister in
if
the
you
row.
do,
So
can I get some clarification then? If you do, if let's say the midfield and those in the chat, you guys can put your midfield as well, like how you would like to see your midfield constructed. And keep in mind, don't necessarily do it like your midfield in the sense of like if you're the coach, meaning like what you think this coach would like as his midfield. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, hang on, Rev.
Because I know that we could all put our midfields that we personally think would be a great midfield, but we're talking about this coach's system. That's what I'm trying to get across. So if you're putting your midfield together,
that's how I always do it, by the way. I always do it from how I think the coach is going to play.
Okay.
I never look at it.
I'm not saying it for you. I'm saying it for the
yeah, no, but just so when I'm talking, I never think, oh, I do this, I do it. It's just I look, but I ain't picking the team. So what do I think Klopp's going to do or Slott's going to do?
Right.
I'm not gonna. I could sit there all day and say, bring in fucking, let's make a clone of Calme and let's get all the boys back together. But yeah, it's just.
Right, you can be like, hey, why not just try Gomez there again or something? Right, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just it'll always be what I think the boss is going to do or the man that picks the team is going to do.
Right.
Like for me right now, it's a Bosley and McAllister and Graham. They've done it that way again. The top three.
Right.
That's your first choice. I'd just like to see that one kind of I don't know. I don't know what you call it in America, but like that one inevitable player. This is okay, right? Okay, he's the boy now. He's the man.
Mm-hmm.
This is like sorry for the other guys, but the rest of you gonna have to make do because we've just brought in this guy, and they're all be going, oh, damn man, we're going to win stuff now. Not like, oh, I've lost my place. It's like we're going to win stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We bring in these types of players: Ali, Virgil, Fabinho. Lock it down. We bring in those types of players. We already this is very similar to that. When we brought in Ali, Fabinho, and Virgil, we already had Coutinho, Mane, and Bobby.
Mm-hmm. We
had no problem scoring goals. Look at our front six now: Diaz, Gakpo, Nunez, Salah, Chiesa. It's not the same, obviously, but it's similar.
Right.
So now the obvious places are not in goalkeeper, but a centre half, a DM. That's what we need. We don't want to, or we don't need to go out and spend big to score goals. We just have those one or two obvious places like we had with BVD and Ali. That if we do that, you're going to elevate this team massively. So I think we are in a very similar position like that.
Right. Is that player on the market, by the way?
Oh no, that's a different fucking story. Yeah, that's a whole other story, isn't it? Right now, that's a whole other story. I mean, people know you need something. That's the other. Yeah, when you're out there going, well, we only want the best. It's like, okay, get your checkbook. Yeah, your checkbook out. Because you're walking around here going, we only want the best. And okay, you obviously realize, we're not going to give you some guy for 20 million because you just said we're not going to buy a player who isn't going to immediately improve our team. And those kind of players are really good and really expensive. So you can't expect to go somewhere and just take somebody. So the clubs are going to be like, okay, so you are backing yourself into a corner to a degree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's I don't know what my usual is today, but okay. I'm just asking the questions, really. Sometimes difficult thing about it is that I definitely know that there's like the reason why I brought up the Ian Graham thing is because the nerds, quote unquote, out there that are the
Revenge of the nerds.
Yeah, exactly. That are crunching the numbers and that are doing all the the backroom analyzations of things and such. They're obviously bringing out the players that they see as being the best to fit with the club that we have and everything else.
Big up.
The best that we have for the club that we have. So with that said, that's why I was wondering, like, is there a player out there that is you move heaven and earth to move to get that player type thing? It's like this is the
There is
player.
that player, yeah. The
Yeah.
heaven and earth player, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
But
So who would that be, by the way? I'm just wondering.
oh,
Not
I
saying that
don't.
we
Yeah,
have the
no, no.
chance of
I'd
getting
love
him.
to be a fly on the wall in that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I can't say. I'm not gonna pretend to be someone here. I can't. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in that meeting, where
Mm-hmm.
it's like, if we had 120, we could go and do this kind of thing. Or if we were prepared to go for 100 million, we could buy this defender.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see who they've identified, because there will, of course, there'll be players that are going, look.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we could get this guy, we could get
I
that
think
guy.
I think maybe
But I
that
don't know who they would. But yeah, that's the thing. They wouldn't look at
would you
those
say
players.
maybe Bruno? Like, as I know a name that's been out there. There was
Yeah,
yesterday I reported it or reported it. I spoke on it um, about how Bruno G
name on the
was
go.
a name. Bruno G was a name that was on the list of possible acquisitions or
Yeah,
inquiries that they put out there. They put an inquiry into Newcastle about Bruno G's availability and what the price would be for him. And is it it's a really about finding that happy medium of what is the price that what is the player, what's the price,
yeah. You start with the
and
player. You start
right,
with the player.
right,
Can he improve us? Number one question has to be: if we bring in this guy, will he improve the team?
right.
So it is all. It's kind of it can be a little bit easy these days to. I'm not going to say trick people, but
Hmm.
to tell people that, oh no, this guy can't be got, this guy can't be done, this guy can't be got.
Hmm.
And we're because we're not in the room. We're kind of speculating on why they're doing it. But the whole, like I've said before, I was never a fan of the, oh, we go for our, like I think it grew out of the whole thing where we said Virgil van Dijk was our one and only target. And if we couldn't get him, we weren't going to get anybody. It's like, well, that doesn't make any sense because we need a new centre half. So what are we going to do? Just not buy anybody? But okay, I get where you're going for with the big boy stance,
Hmm.
you know, and that's what Liverpool do. And that was a line that was being fed to the press that Liverpool now will only take their number one target and nothing else. And it's like, yeah, but that literally doesn't make any sense. Like, if you need food, if you need to eat, you go
Yeah,
in the
they're going
store
to
and
eat.
like the one
Yeah,
thing is gone. Well, you're going to get something else, right?
right.
Like, that
Exactly.
doesn't really make sense. But it's cool. That's a nice flex. We only go for the best. Cool. If it's on the shelf, cool. Then you look good. But
I
if
think
that's not on the shelf, then you need to actually be flexible.
I I think that
You know.
I think what you're saying is spot on once again because it's not that Liverpool only go for their number one choice and then it's like they only go if it's not what is it if it's not like wagyu steak or something like that then
Yeah.
they just don't
Go
eat the
home and
meal.
eat nothing. Yeah. Come on.
Exactly. But if there's an opportunity out there that that comes across and you're able to make it work, I think they will take advantage of it, and especially if it's a player that they've had their targets on, they'll make it work or happen. I mean, we've seen numerous examples of that. With where when we obviously had our targets on Diaz, for instance, and when we found out the Spurs were on the verge of getting him, that's when they stepped up the procedures and made it happen. Um, Cody Hackbo, another player that we had tentative target on. I really didn't think that we had it wasn't really out there that was like one of our preferred choices or someone that we're looking at. Manchester United was more
Yeah,
heavily
United
on
want
him.
them. Yeah, United want them. Yeah.
Yeah, and then when the opportunity happens and you utilize, obviously the connections to Virgil van Dijk and the players that possibly help solidify the deal, things happen sometimes. Um, there's so many variables that I think that we have to just factor in, and I think that often I heard this analogy, and then I'll give credit, and I always do, or at least I do my best to do it. I heard Savage say this actually earlier. Savage says something about like fans' ambition is not the same as owners' ambition sometime, because often owners aren't necessarily looking at it from a fan perspective because they've got to pay the bill, So they like with that said, they're looking at it as like it's got to be the right moves. It's got to be all the different. It's got to check a lot of the boxes that make it a viable deal. Just not something that says, "Oh, this is a great player," and you love how this player works. Sometimes that player isn't going to fit with the locker room, or that sometimes that player is not going to fit with a coach's philosophy. Like you have to weigh in a lot of those things. Or hey, sometimes the player is just not like is a negative on the fan base in the sense of his persona and what he's about. Like as in some players you just don't want a part of your team, despite the fact that they are very talented players. So let me see if I see some of these comments in the chat. I know that we've got a bunch of people in the chat tonight. Appreciate each and every one of you guys and ladies as well. Big up to Ottoman Turk. I haven't seen Ottoman Turk in a hot minute. Good to see you, brother. And let's see. MK Toe says Arsenal's new £32.5 million signing, or excuse me, euro signing. Mikel Merino will be out for several weeks after suffering a fractured shoulder in his first training session. Manager Mikel Arteta confirmed on Friday. That is unfortunate for the player. I don't really like to see people get injured.
It's only a shoulder.
Yeah.
It's not a career threatener, so it's funny. Yeah. It's funny because it's not going to end his career in any way. It'd be cool.
I did hear that. I did hear that that they were
because it was done to him, by the way. But yeah, it wasn't just like he didn't just like having it. Like he got smashed by Martinelli.
Who did it, by the way? Who did it?
Martinelli. Gabriel Martinelli. Yeah.
Oh well, isn't it fitting that Arsenal wingers have a tendency of causing shoulder injuries?
Yeah, he smashed him up, man. He went out, he landed on him. Like they went in, and then Martinelli came down heavy on him. He just broke his fucking shoulder, to be honest with you. Yeah.
That's crazy. That is some craziness. Oh man.
Yeah, Timber, like red arm Timber, exactly. He got injured. He missed the whole season. Basically.
He missed. Yeah, that was
pretty much missed the whole thing.
That was
Danny. It was like a Danny Ings one for us, wasn't it? Like you remember Danny Ings' first session?
Yeah. I remember you talking about that story. Yeah.
Yeah, it was literally the same thing.
He was set for. They were expecting big things from him. Actually, Timber, I'm talking about at least.
They were expecting him to be probably Martin, probably Gabriel, I'd say, because they had like Saliba down as their big guy. They were probably thinking it was going to be Saliba and Timber, and Martin other Gabriel stepped up.
With the way they're using him, right, this year, they're looking at him as they're utilizing him as an inverted player.
Yeah, an inverted type player. Yeah.
They've put him in. Yeah. They put him in the place of Zinchenko.
Yeah, Zinchenko.
And now he's like, he'll start on the left side, but he'll quickly go into that inverted role. But I don't know if he's a natural fit for that. But again, Arteta has a real strong faith in his ability to craft players and develop players. I'm not saying that he's good or bad, but I am saying that he does have a real strong belief that he can take players and craft them into the vision of what he wants them to be. And I don't know.
I wouldn't be going too far down that inverted route because, like, I think, like all tactics will always change quickly. They're always kind of like in reaction to other things, to kind of try and gain an upper hand on other things. Mm-hmm. But let's say like the move from a 4-4-2 to a 4-5-1 in Europe, or a 4-3-3, which Mourinho basically brought to England, giving you midfield dominance. These things I thought were more kind of seismic. I just get the impression with the inverted fullback thing is something that players, coaches like Guardiola, and that they can do, but it's incredibly player dependent. I mean, most systems, they aren't dependent on the quality of the player to a degree. This
Mhm.
whole inverted fullback thing, I think it very much depends on having a player that can do that kind of thing. That's probably only available to the higher level of things, of teams and coaches. And I think it's more of a fad than, not a fad in a bad way. I think it's more of a temporary type of thing, more than kind of fundamental shift towards everybody will play with inverted fullbacks, because I don't actually think that's possible, because that fullback is
Mhm.
an actual footballer. Actually has to be able to do that job. It's a very difficult job.
Mhm.
And I can just see
It
it
is a
being like
difficult.
it's,
That's why I'm interested. I was
oh,
interested to
it's
see, like,
really
I just
difficult.
don't know. Timber doesn't necessarily, like, as a as a center back, it's one thing, but as an actual inverted player, the way that they're trying to utilize him, he's definitely taking a page from Pep's book and saying, I'll do you
They're all
one
trying to
better.
do it.
You know.
You see, the thing is, all tactics will work when they're new, right? Because what you're doing is you're
Mm-hmm.
creating an overload of players and you're creating a new thing, but
Mm-hmm.
they're work because they're new. But clever coaches would just go, okay, that's how you stop that, and that's how we stop that.
Mm-hmm.
And so they can't just go, oh well, we've invented inverted midfield, we've invented inverted fullbacks now, and you can't stop it. Well, we'll all just play inverted fullbacks and cancel each other out. It won't last forever, this thing, which is why nobody has said it. I've not heard it once this year. I try and play inverted. I've never heard it once this season. I know 2 games in, but it's more of a temporary type of thing, which was, it's kind of easy to stop in terms of exploiting its weaknesses, making it like not every team can do it. So I just think it would be something that will be maybe not talked about as much in a couple of years. I don't see it being like the huge talking point that it was needlessly last year, which was basically seemed to tie the entire future of Liverpool Football Club to whether or not Trent could play in midfield or not, which is
Mm-hmm.
bizarre when you think about it. He's just a player. We'll get on with it either
Right.
way. We won games when he was injured, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't think it's a permanent tactical shift. I just think it's something that kind of come along in the mid time, and people, we move. It worked for a while, but now everyone knows what we're doing, and they've worked out how to beat it. They've worked out
Mm-hmm.
how to kind of make it look a bit stupid. Man City can do it, of course they can, because everyone in their team is worth about 90 million quid. Of course
Mm-hmm.
they can do it. Yeah, but try to do it if you're Brentford playing, or if you're whatever, if you're Norwich in the Championship. No, not everyone can do it, because you can't have a left back or a right back. Oh, now you're a midfielder. Go and control the game. Sorry, what?
Mm-hmm.
you got to be
Um,
really, you got
to
to
be,
be a big club.
it's going to be a process, to see them incorporate it, because I just don't think that it's one thing to try to utilize. Uh, it's one thing to try to utilize a Trent in that role, who has a variety
Yeah,
of abilities to utilize passing and the likes. But it's another thing that I don't think Timber has the same range as a Trent
yeah,
or
but would
as.
you ask Connor Bradley to do it? Would you ask Connor Bradley to
No, I
just
wouldn't
go in
ask.
and
No, I definitely would not ask
exactly,
Conor Bradley to do the Trent to
exactly? So
do that
you know,
inverter.
oh
Absolutely not.
Connor, you're 19. Go in and control the game against Madrid because Trent is injured. Nah, man,
Right. Would
it's
you ask?
totally
Would you
player
ask?
dependent.
Would you ask Joe Gomez to do it?
Exactly, like this is a Trent. It's like, okay, we have to find a way to get this guy into the game. That's what I always looked at it, not as, oh, we're playing inverted now. They used to fake doing it like in friendly games, where it's like, oh, Trent is injured. Oh, but don't worry, we're still playing inverted. Look, Robbo is inverting. It's like, what the hell are we doing here, guys?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, we've got Trent, get him into the game. Yeah, great, but you don't have to do it even when he's not there, just because that's what you do now. And that never
Mm-hmm.
made any sense to me. The guy's a unicorn. Trent is a total one-off. Stop asking other people to do what he does and
Yeah.
setting up a system that's completely dependent on him being in the team because he won't be in there every game. So what are you going to do when he's not in there? No, that never made any sense to me. If he's in the game, let him do his thing and work around it. But to set up a whole team that was based on his strengths,
Mm-hmm.
that to me was bizarre, really, really weird. Like even the best players in the world have 10 around them. Maradona, Messi, Ronaldo, all these, they always had 10 other players on the pitch with them. You know, it can't just be about Trent and what he's good at. It could never be about that.
I get you. I get what you're saying. There was a couple high lore updates in here from our German correspondent. Hyler has put up that Liverpool's Ben Doak set to join Middlesbrough on season-long loan. Hull City had also wanted him. That's according to Paul Joyce. Paul Joyce is someone that once you hear it, you pretty much can book it when it's Liverpool news, especially. And there was another one too that he placed in here about Kai Gordon. Liverpool's Kai Gordon set to join championship outfit Norwich City on loan. That's according
Oh,
to
nice
James.
one, Savage. Savage said he was going to send a few people over, so Hollywood Rock is here. So anyone that's in from
Oh,
Savage's stream from earlier on, nice
appreciate
one.
that.
Yeah, true,
Definitely.
Savage.
Big up to
Yeah, yeah.
Savage. Big up to
Yeah,
Savage.
no, he had a brilliant stream. If you have any
He
time later
did.
on,
He did.
watch back. Yeah, watch back Savage's stream from later on, and
Definitely.
just go to the last half an hour because the music it's non-stop. He's jukebox Sav. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
He's
definitely.
singing. He's
If
singing.
a
Yeah,
mod in the chat could put make sure to put his link in there just in case some people in the chat are not aware of his channel. That way they can get accustomed to it because it is certainly worth the gander. Certainly worth it. Especially when he goes on his explanations of Real Madrid's and that was interesting. I was just like at the entire time he's talking about, I'm like, just let it go, man. Just let it go. Don't talk about it anymore. Just let it go. Just let it go.
Oh yeah, no, it became a musical. Yeah, no, it became a music stream after a while, and it was great fun.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was in there for a while. I had to dip out because I started doing a little bit more research to have some notes for today's show. But yeah, big up to Savage for that. Shout out to also to a U.S. men's national team. This isn't for Liverpool news, but it is for possibly Spurs. Apparently, Johnny Cardosa, who is a U.S. men's national team player, is going to possibly be making a
Johnny
move.
Cardoza.
Yeah,
That sounds like Johnny Cardoza.
I know.
Yeah.
Is like it sounds like he should be like in Mortal Kombat or something, but like Johnny Cage.
Yeah, real CSI. It's like stereotypical Colombian drug dealer, Johnny Cardoza.
Oh yeah, like Miami Vice. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can see that one too. I can see that one too. Apparently, Johnny is on the verge of going to Spurs, and why that's a big deal is because apparently Tottenham is going to offload Lo Celso, right?
Oh,
Giovanni.
great player. I love him as a player. Yeah, just unlucky. He's a great player.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
you really rate him like that?
yeah, he's a great player. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they're looking to unload him, and they're going to end up needing a player and making a priority. And as such, they're going to be bringing in Cardosa. And the reported price is at a fixed fee of $33 million if they choose to do the signing. That's $33 million American. I don't know. They don't have the pounds or euros on in my feed because this is from a U.S. base. This is from CBS, and yeah, Real Betis will have made quite a bit of cash on this deal if they do this deal because they originally bought the player for $6.3 million. So it's certainly some Premier League tax going on right there. But if and when that happens, Much success to you, Johnny. Much success to you, despite that you're at Spur. Also, apparently Everton is looking to boost their midfield, but I don't know if Do you think Everton's going to be making really any moves? Do you think they're going to be making any moves? We're going to talk about Liverpool news too, by the way. But I'm just talking about. I'm also going to filter in some news from other clubs and the likes as well for us across the Premier League.
Can Everton do anything? Can they even? I mean, I don't know. What are they going like? What the hell have they done? I mean, they've sold Onana 50. I mean, they got all these mad kind of up in the air type of ownership things going on. Yeah, I'd hate to look as usual. You'd hate to be an Everton fan, but right now, I really would hate to be an Everton fan. Like, Branthwaite is something that they should just do. Like, if someone comes to them and gives them 70 million quid for Branthwaite, they should probably just do that, because as good as he is and as bad as they are without him, he's not going to be the future. If they can do something like that, I really don't know. Like they don't want to know. They got a new stadium,
right?
No owners, new owners, old owners, court cases, point seductions. Like,
they're not off to a good start. I mean, they're not off.
Can you imagine being a player and getting a call from your agent though, and goes, yeah, I mean, it's like you're a player and you're sitting there, typically, give it the, sitting in the airport lounge, as it were, in Paris, and your agent is going, look, just get to the airport. Like, you and then we'll tell you might be going to London, you might go to Munich, you might be going to Barcelona. Just get to an airport, that kind of deal. They're looking at these kind of guys right now. Last minute bullshit. They've sold. I mean, they got 50 million for Onana. 50 million. I think if they didn't have Sean Dyche,
well, I'm asking those questions too, Brian, because there's still, like I said earlier in the show, one of the top names that is on our list, or not on our list, but one of the top names that is on the bookies list is Branthwaite. There was a report, and I saw it earlier. Make sure I get that for you here. There was a report about how there's three players that are still looked at as being big names on the list of players that we're going to make a push to try to bring in before the deadline ends, and it's one of those things that I was saying something similar to what Pop said yesterday, and that is I would prefer to wait for Branthwaite to see what ends up happening with Everton, and also maybe even give him another year to develop his skills in the whole nine. But if they do get relegated, there is apparently a release clause that's connected to his
hell
contract.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. These boys.
And then if they do get relegated, then you can get him for I think it was 30 or 40 million, So you kind of take
even if they
of their
even if they didn't have a relegation release clause, you probably get him for half of what he is. Trap Joe asked me to explain the PL tax. I'm not sure if he was joking, but I mean, it's not really.
It's not a real thing, but yeah.
No, it's basically. I mean, if a English club wants to buy your best player, and they're in the same division, like if a Premier League rival or a Premier League club wants to buy your best player, then you will try your best to extract probably a little bit more out of that club than you would if Bayern Munich or whoever it might be. I mean, it's all very dependent in that, but it's it's basically like if somebody shows up to buy your house and that guy he's got millions, that guy is just He's highly liquid. He's got all the cash in the world. He's got loads of money. I mean, you're gonna squeeze him for the most, and those are Premier League clubs. Everyone knows they've lots of money, and you don't. If you're a Palace, you don't want to sell someone a player who twice a season you're going to have to face that player, and he might damage your club. So if that is going to happen, he's going to score goals against you, say for Liverpool or Aston Villa. Then you're going to make sure that you get the most because you know how much these clubs have. Where if it's a German club or something like that, you're like, well, look, we're getting rid of this guy, and they don't have a lot of money. But again, it is a myth. It's club dependent and it's player dependent, but it's just um, everybody knows Premier League clubs are rich. They're basically they have to pay the most regardless where they come from. It's just the way it is. But look, it's not their money. It's TV money, it's prize money, most of that. So they're just like, okay, whatever, which is what's driven stuff up a lot. I'd like to see probably, I think in 3 years' time, it'll be a hard reset. But it's coming in from this year. There'll be a complete hard reset. In 3 years' time, the landscape will be completely different in terms of what people are actually spending on players. Because you'll see people that are in the Barcelona position now, where Barcelona have no problem with money. They have cash. They generate millions and millions and millions and millions. They don't have a problem bringing in money, but they can buy a player, but because of the way that stuff works over there, they can't register them. They can buy them, they can sign them, but they can't register them unless you can make the money work. So you can have the richest owners in the world that have billions and billions and billions and billions, but if you can't balance your books, then basically the app, and it's an app in Spain.
Why don't you share the little jewel that you dropped on Savage? Big up to Nature Boy, by the way. Why don't you drop the jewel that you shared in Savage's
about
show
the PIF? Oh yeah, well the word on the street is that basically the PIF, which is the Saudi Public Investment Fund, which took over Newcastle, which doesn't just own them. I mean, they're one of their many arms to spread out. They've kind of copped on recently that they bought in too late, and it doesn't matter how rich they are. Newcastle can only spend what Newcastle earn, and the wages and the yada yada yada. So they've had to sell these players. So they could have 1,000,000,000 billion trillion, but they can't just go out and spend it unless Newcastle earn an equivalent amount of money to allow them to spend that. So your money, the size of your wallet doesn't really matter. It's more about the size of your club and how well run your club is and how much money they bring in. So like I said, the word on the street is that they've downgraded their interest in Newcastle as something that they can turn into something. They aren't as interested in that. It's no longer the big priority that it was because they realized that they bought into it a little bit too late. And all of their money really is kind of useless when they have to sell players just to buy a guy. So they've kind of looked at it now in terms of really something that isn't their main focus, sporting wise or globally. And I mean, what that says for Newcastle, I don't know. It pretty much says to me that they're going to end up where they were because it's a hard sell for players. Newcastle is a hard sell geographically. It's not London. So if they're not first, like they're in seventh or eighth, it's not London. They can give you good wages, but it's basically Scotland. It's not somewhere that's had a history. It's
Scotland, by the way.
But it's not somewhere that has history. It's not somewhere where Argentinian players, Brazilian players that they can go and settle. Because there's an area around. All those little things, and they haven't built that up yet, and they can't buy their way to it. They can't force their way into it by buying their way into it, like Chelsea did back in the day. and like Man City did, and Man City did it illegally because they knew this shit was coming. Chelsea
Allegedly.
just came in,
Yes.
and Blackburn, Chelsea, they just came and said, right, I can spend as much as I want,
Right.
and we can just do that.
Hmm.
The other teams kind of saw it was coming down the line. They tried to hide it. I don't know what the PIF were doing because FSG came on under the proviso that this stuff was coming in years ago, and they realized, well, hang on, if it's about how much a club earns, then Liverpool is top 2 or 3 in the world. There's no one is going to beat us if we get our shit together commercially and max everything out that way. Then all of a sudden, wait,
Hmm.
these rules don't apply. It takes 10 years, they get tightened up. You're talking about 2 years' time. It will come to the point where FSG thought they were buying it in the first place.
Right. Right.
You know,
Right.
but the likes of the Saudi PIA, they've just looked at that and gone, when somebody, how do you just throw money at it? Just throw money at it. You can't throw money
Well,
at a Premier League football.
yeah.
You can't. You can't. You have to
Well,
bring it in.
that's some of what I was going to get into too, because like talking about throwing money at it, that's what we've seen Chelsea do a lot of this summer.
Yeah.
It's just throw money, not over this summer, but last like couple years now. They just thrown money at a lot of things. Apparently, there was talks that United were very close to finalizing a deal of bringing Sterling to the Red
It's
Devils.
getting crazy. It's
Yeah.
getting crazy.
However, now there is this is as Rev just spoke on, and I was something I was going to bring up too, and that is Arsenal are exploring a loan option to bring in Sterling.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, Arsenal are in talks with Chelsea over a late loan move for Raheem Sterling. The progress is being made on the deal, with the Gunners being seen as an attractive destination for the forward. Obviously, Arsenal is going to be a team that contends this year. They're obviously a team that is looking to still make additions to their squad, apparently, with their one of their chief concerns being striker. Sterling isn't a striker, but it does say something a little bit about Martinelli. That's exactly what his, what their plans or what their aspirations are for that player, and it's an interesting deal that's out there now. At least that's what radiates when I see that. I mean, Martinelli is the starter normally, but I know that a lot of there's people out there that say Trossard should start over Martinelli. At least I've heard that from some of the Arsenal fan
Yeah, well,
corners.
2 years ago, Martinelli was ripping it up, ripping it up.
2 years ago,
Then,
I thought
not 2 years.
3 years ago, I
The
thought
season
there was a
before that.
possibility that we were going to get Martinelli. To be honest with you,
Oh, Klopp loved him. Klopp wanted him. He tried to
Yeah.
buy him. That's a well-known fact. He tried to buy Saka. We tried to buy Saka when before he signed a big deal with them. He was still only like about 17,
Mhm.
but he'd gotten in, and he was probably still only on like about $2,000 a week or something off a youth deal. We
Mhm.
tried to buy him, and it got knocked back, and he immediately signed like a 6-year, proper deal with them. And Klopp basically came out in an interview and said, yeah, I wanted Martinelli. I wanted to buy him.
Mhm.
Big into him. He was brilliant.
Does
Then he got an
Sterling move
injury.
the needle for them though? Does Sterling move the needle
Well,
for
that's the
Arsenal?
thing. They have him, and they have. I don't. Sterling is for them is just one of those. I don't know. I really don't know. Like, if they had him in their team, you'd probably be like, okay, he's probably better than Trossard. But he's on 325 grand a week. He's 29. He should still be one of the best players in the league. But he goes to Chelsea. You don't know. Like, if he like Arteta is a different manager. Like the guy has got if he played every game of the season in a good team, he could probably score 14 league goals. He'll probably stay fit a lot more than Gabby Jesus will.
Well,
So But he's a huge acquisition. 29, like nearly, like I say, 325 a week.
What is like he's making? Well, I mean, they would have to work something out, some of his wages and such. If it was a permanent deal, at least, obviously, if it's a loan deal, then it's a different story. But there's another player out there that I thought made a lot more sense for a lot of teams, but he's somewhat fizzled when it's come to his box office or his appeal, and that is Ivan Toney. Toney has all of a sudden gone from we've got to get him to now all of a sudden he's just kind of sitting there waiting. He's not even getting one. He's not getting starts just in case he does make a move. I think.
Yeah.
Currently, but
that's what a 6-month ban will do.
Apparently, Chelsea was in the running for him possibly. Now they've said that they're completely out. It's a no runner. They're not involved in pursuit of him.
Yeah.
I know that at one point, Arsenal was a club looking to bring him in. Now all of a sudden, that's kind of fizzled down to a point where not many people are talking about it. What is going on? Do you have a read on that?
He's 29 years old and he was banned for 6 months for gambling offenses.
Yeah, I get that part.
You get that part. Yeah, because that'll be about 89% of it.
Okay.
I mean, what are you going to do? Give him a 4-year deal until he's 33?
Well, I mean, if you're a team that's looking for a quick fix, Arsenal's looking to win now.
Yeah, 28.
That's why
look, if you want to bring him in,
so
but he's just on a 6-month ban for gambling.
He's 28, I guess. Lante's saying too, by the way, Brian.
I mean, the guy's obviously got a gambling problem. So you gonna bring him in? Would you buy Tonali tomorrow?
Marion's saying he's 22, so yeah, he got the 2 verification one out.
Yeah, Man City pulled out of a deal for Paqueta because they found out he's under an investigation for gambling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's why everybody backed the hell away from him. Chelsea were looking and going, yeah, like you said. If you were to talk about a team that the only thing we need is X amount of goals, and if we could get that for 2 years, we'd win a league, and we might win 2. And he comes in and he gets those goals, and he's 28, 29, 30, and you have 2 league titles. Nobody's going to care. But would I bring him in with his history, with his age, and the fact that he turned down, or he made it known that he wasn't going to accept less than a very high number weekly.
Mm-hmm.
So he basically wants, because he knows he's nearly finished at the highest level. This is his last big contract.
This is his last big. Yeah, this is his last big.
So
check.
he's talking about 300 grand. So it's all about but let's be fair. Yeah, Tony Gam. Yeah, but
so you think
he's been?
I'm asking real quick. Do you think that his salary demand is he wants 300 grand a week? Is that what you're saying?
No, but that's what they're saying. He was saying whatever his demand was, he wasn't prepared to accept less than that.
Mm-hmm.
Like Chelsea weren't going to give him that. That was basically saying, I've been offered this by a club in Saudi.
Yeah.
Al-Hili
or something like that.
Oh, he's gone there. Apparently he's gone there. I think he's already gone there.
Al-Ali, I think it's called. Al-Ali.
Al-Hilal, I think, is the one. There's about 4 of them. Yeah.
It's spelled AHLI. AL, then ALHI. I know that's how you spell it.
Yeah, that's Al-Hilal. He was, there's all kinds of stories about what they were doing and what they were, but the guy was wearing a jersey that had a betting company as a sponsor. Paqueta is under investigation for betting. He was going to go to Man City for 90 million. West Ham are wearing a jersey sponsored by a bookie. This is a problem in the game, but you don't. People like us, you don't go out and buy a player who's just been banned for 6 months. Certain clubs, they don't do that.
Well,
If you want to
it
be
probably
that
wouldn't be
club
a
that
good
doesn't does
look
that,
to have
we
a guy
don't
that
go
got
and do
banned for betting on football to be playing on a team that's sponsored by a team that has.
Is he good? No, but is he good?
Money.
Yeah. Can he score a penalty? Yes. Can he put the ball in the back of net? Yes. Are FSG going to buy him? No.
There's another report that Ramsdale has signed as well. He's signed with the Saints.
Yeah, he's gone to Southampton. Yeah. Bazuna was injured. The Irish goalkeeper that was keeping Gallagher out of the game because he was playing every game for Southampton, so he was getting in. He was previously at Man City. We have like typical small country thing. You get two of the best players come along in generation, and they play in the one position that only one player can play in. Left back or right back. Yeah, we have two really good young goalkeepers. Great, we can only play one. But he's after getting an injury now. Ramsdale has gone there. They brought in Neto from Bournemouth as a replacement on loan. Because Bournemouth have gotten Kepa, the guy that this is the Premier League, man. Chelsea paid nearly £75 million for Kepa not that long ago, and he's now playing for Bournemouth. And he's still a Chelsea player, having just come back from Real Madrid. If that doesn't tell you how much crazy money there is in the Premier League, this is, come on. Kepa is playing for Bournemouth now.
Yeah.
70 odd million quid for a goalkeeper, and he now plays for Bournemouth. Can we get our heads around that in any way? More than Virgil van Dijk nearly. He cost almost as much as Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah. It's pretty wild how things move and shape themselves in the sphere of football nowadays.
I'm still convinced they only did that because we bought Ali. They wanted to break our record. Well,
really?
They didn't, but they didn't. But they bought him
That's
after
wild.
we bought
That
Ali.
was That'd
but
be
they
wild.
were prepared to do that.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh, cool, but we'll have the world's most expensive goalkeeper then." It was just, who is it? Nobody had ever heard from him. He was a good goalkeeper, and all of a sudden, I'm not saying Ali was like Buffon or something. Okay, but he wasn't. A lot of people were like, "Who's Allison?" Yeah, definitely. But he had been in the year before we bought Allison. He was in the Champions League Team of the Year. He was the goalkeeper in the Champions League Team of the Year, obviously alongside something. So the previous year, he was a big name to a degree. But even then, I get it. But like Kepa was like, hang on, Kepa, what? What are you talking about? Some 22-year-old kid for like the most money anyone's ever spent on pretty much any player. At least he gave us that moment where he refused to get subbed off in a cup final, wasn't it? There was a penalty shootout.
No.
He refused to get subbed off or something.
Was that the case?
That was Kepa. Yeah.
I thought that because they were bringing Kepa on for.
No, it was Kepa was on the pitch, and Sarri was the manager, and Sarri was
back then. I got you. Okay.
Yeah, to bring on the baldy guy, Willie Caballero, for the penalty shootout, and Kepa was just like, "Nah, you're okay, you're grand."
Well, this goes to show you what was the name of the goalkeeper that replaced Kepa?
Jesus, the African goalkeeper from oh God, what was his name?
What was his name again?
The African keeper, yeah, he was Ghanaian keeper, or Nigerian keeper. What was his fucking name? Oh,
anyone can't remember?
Oh God!
If we had Chelsea, or we had Chelsea.
Mendy.
That's
it. Mendy.
Yes.
Yeah, Mendy.
I remember when there was people out there in the forums saying Mendy was the best goalkeeper in the world. I remember those shouts. I remember people saying he was the best goalkeeper in the world.
That's why it took him until the age of 30 to get a move to a club bigger than Lyon, I think it was Marseille or something.
Yeah, it's funny, pretty funny stuff. Pretty funny stuff. And exactly, where is he? Where is he at right now? Too, you know.
Oh, they're all on their Chelsea deals.
Yeah.
They're all still sitting there playing. Like they're sitting in some dressing room somewhere
Oh, yeah, they've got like what,
where
7 or 8 goalkeepers or something like that,
oh
right?
yeah, no, they'll be in like some European. They've got some European team. Some of these guys, like, and you'll have forgotten about it, and they'll be sitting there like, and the next highest paid guy is like on 15 grand, and
Yeah.
this guy will be like on 100 grand, and you're like, what the fuck are you doing on 100 grand? So I've still got 2 years left on a Chelsea deal. I signed it 5 years ago. I still have 2 years left on 100 grand. I'm never not going on loan.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
yeah,
And doing
like,
the loyalty
but
bonus stuff that you're
yeah,
talking about.
exactly. Yeah,
Oh
yeah. If
boy,
you ask for a transfer,
factor
boom,
that in
you're out. You
there.
lost 3 million quid. Like, look at Carney Chukwuemeka, right? Carney Chukwuemeka,
Yeah.
one of the best young players in England at Aston Villa a couple of years ago. Really highly rated. The usual crack, right?
Hmm.
Who knows what would have happened to him? But he goes to Chelsea, right? Probably signs 7 year deal, right? When they were buying loads of people, and then like I think they bought like a player on a Monday, and they bought like a really big player on a Monday, and they bought a really big player on a Friday. But like on the Wednesday, they bought Chukwuemeka for like 20 million quid or something like that from Villa.
Hmm.
Really highly rated player, like just when they were on like blitz transfer stuff. So he comes out today saying he wants to go somewhere else because he wants to play first team football. Why the like? Sorry, man. I'm not. Even if I'm one of your mates,
Right.
why the fuck did you join Chelsea then? If you want first team football, why did you join Chelsea? Did you
Right.
look at that Chelsea squad and think, yeah, I'm getting in there, man? Carney Chukwuemeka from Aston Villa. Like they've just bought Enzo for 100 million. They've just
Right.
bought Caicedo for 100 million. They just bought Lavia for 50 million. They've got all these other guys. You're a central midfielder, and you went, yeah, I'm going to get. Oh no, and no, you went there for the 7 year deal that gives you 100 grand a week guaranteed for the next 7 years. Now you want out and you're saying, oh no, I'm an ambitious player. I just want to
Right.
play football. Fuck off, man. Come on. You knew what you were going. You knew what you were signing up for. Now you just want to play football.
Hmm.
Bullshit, man.
Hmm.
Absolute bullshit. You signed your 7 year deal. Now you're guaranteed like whatever it is, 5 million a year, 35 million quid for the next 7 years. Oh yeah, but for the love of the game, man. I just love the game. Yeah, but you won't sign, will you? You won't go somewhere and sign a deal there on half your wages. You'll go on loan. You won't give up that deal, will you? No, they won't. This is why they've created this horrible vacuum of like players being on loan at a club kills them because they never know at the end of that season or even halfway through that season, oh, bang, you're gone. You could be having a great year. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You could be having a great year at a club on loan. Everything's going really, really, really well for you. And the next thing you know, um, a new manager comes in. Oh, I don't like, I want to do something different. I want to do something here. I want to do something there. So going out on loan for these people, it can be a death knell, you know. Leave it just Brian, but Brian Sancho is going for the project. Yeah, Sancho, man. Like, he's got, how many messages has that guy got? They tried to sell him. They tried to get rid of, kick him out to the curb. And then Ten Hag comes around today and says, oh, if we need him to stay, he's a good player. We need good players. We're going to have lots of games. I mean, the guy did everything he could to try and get rid of Sancho, and it's the same with Maresca. Like these players are using, or these clubs are using. Like, do you think Maresca, a guy who's basically just a first team coach under Pep Guardiola, who somehow gets the Leicester job, gets handed the most overpowered, overleveled squad in the championship, which walked it, comes back up, right? Easy job. I'm sorry, but that's an easy job. the most expensive team, or the highest wage bill ever relegated from the Premier League, highest squad value ever. He brings them back up. Do you honestly want to tell me that that guy has the stones to tell Raheem Sterling, you can sit down, you're not going to play for me?
Yeah.
That's coming from on high. That is being told to him, we will back you. Oh, you can tell, like, you're the manager on the shop floor. You can tell him that. And if he wants to ring head office, he'll be told the same. He's been told he can do that.
Yeah.
These guys would not. He's Raheem Sterling. Any Premier League manager worth their salt would have a serious place for him in a team. It'd be
Mm-hmm.
stupid. It'd be stupid not to. A fit Sterling will score goals and get assists. He will. And you have him already for free. He's been told, say everything you need to say to get this guy to tell his agent, we want out. And it's so crass and it's so obvious.
Well, apparently,
Sterling
like,
doesn't deserve this. Like,
so Edouard Mendy, the goalkeeper to speak about earlier, does play for actually that team that we were just talking about too in Saudi Arabia. He plays for Al. Yeah, he plays for them. And he is 32 years old now. 32 years old. So, from Senegal. Also, you're so right about the whole situation with Sterling. It's one of those situations where his family is so set in staying in London that unless it's a deal to a team in London, he's pretty much going to stay with his situation. That is very, very, very aggressive for you to say, hey, you know what? I'll just keep collecting those checks and keep writing them. Don't want me to play for you? Okay, fine.
oh, treat me like shit.
Yeah.
You owe me. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, you think you can come in here, basically tell me I'm a piece of shit, you're not going to play, what are you doing? You may as well leave.
Yeah.
Dude, we signed a contract 2 years ago. If you think you're going to like force me to do the whole, I'm a boyfriend, I don't have the balls to break up with you, so I'll do the classic act like a dickhead so you dump me.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
No. I'm going to sit here.
Wow.
I'm going to take my 325, and if you want to do something, you do it. If you think I'm going to walk out and go, no, I'll rip up my contract, cheap crap, man. He's just sitting there going, I've seen it done, been here before, man. Seen it done, been here before. You owe me 325K a week.
Right.
That's the end of the story. I ain't leaving. Forcing me out, bullshit, no. Bring me a contract that says I can leave. They do it all the time. You make up the wages if you want me out that badly, but you think I'm gonna, you can force me to, do whatever and walk away. It's cheap crap, man.
Yeah.
Very cheap. It's sleazy. It's low rent crap. Like Sterling.
It should be a real testament to players that, I mean, players that are even considering Chelsea when they hear the phone ring.
This is it, man. This is what I say all the time. Yeah, how like people, like players are not blind. They talk to people. They hear from people. It's like, okay, what's the, look, these boys are in from, look, my mate Bobby Clark, right? Mm-hmm. He's talking about going to this club. He's going to, right, look, I'll text this guy. He used to play for Salzburg. I'll text him. Look, what's the story? What's the story there? What's it like?
Yeah.
You'll get all the news.
Oh, yeah.
Or you might already know. Players talk. So, oh, yeah, I was on loan there.
Well, they definitely do.
A couple years ago. Really
That's how we got
club.
Thiago. That's how we got Thiago. I mean, like.
Yeah. I mean, it's. What does it look like? But this isn't even private stuff. This is from.
And I mean,
stuff.
with players like
Chelsea treat their players.
Players like Coutinho weighing in on those options as to whether Liverpool were a good destination, for instance.
Yeah. But
We'll
like I'm saying,
talk.
you don't even with that. You don't even. It doesn't even need to be private. Like this is just public. Like this is how Chelsea treat the likes of Raheem Sterling.
Right.
Like he has a lot of friends in the England squad. He'll have a lot of people that are going, well, this is bullshit. Like, they're going to bring him. They're going to treat him like that. But um, what Madueke or one like he's their guy? That's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. As good as these guys might turn out to be, the idea that a guy like Maresca can look at Sterling and go, do you know what, man? I've looked at you. You're not going to play for me. You just don't get in the team, Raheem. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Absolute bullshit. He gets in every team.
He does.
Mate, does he play every week? Does he? No, but he gets in every squad and he does numbers. So yeah,
I have
this
a
is
question
real.
for the.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Brian. But I also this is open for the chat. I'd like to see what you're
Hi, Jimmy.
out there are thinking at least. With the 10 hours or so left in this a little over 10 hours left in the deadline for today, what player would you have as your number one on your board? What player would you have as your number one on your board if you were able to get in the transfer committee for Liverpool? What player do you have as your number one player? Don't give me a list of like 3 names or whatever.
Well, tonight,
Your
like tonight,
number
like
one player.
if we could bring in one tonight, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Go ahead. Sorry, just making sure. I'll think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm, I know what's the chat saying. So, like, to be like, look, man, you know me. I'm gonna say Bastoni. I'll say Bastoni. If we could do one, that'd blow it. That'd do it
You
for me.
do
I'd
one.
rather,
Okay.
yeah. If we can only do one, I kind of maybe probably prefer DM, but I can't see the name
It's a
out
shout.
there.
Red
But
Armchair, it's got a shout. Maybe just hold tight and just promote Jay Spearing. There you go. That would be great. I
I'm
understand Pops is saying Zuby because he is the one
like a last minute,
first
yeah,
one.
an Easter side resurrection, a last minute,
That would be Lazarus. Yeah, complete Lazarus right there.
a little tweet from Fab going, but
Pancho went with Varela. Okay. Barnes is going in Cape. Whoops, let me bring up who Barnes is. Bernie went with Subamendi too. Yeah. If not Spearing, I got you MK Tell, maybe Leone. Okay.
Barnes is saying I ain't going back for someone that rejected us. So obviously, playing
Zuby's
hard
not
to
on
get
this list.
doesn't
Yes.
work for Bayesian Barnes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go. I don't know enough about Varela or Edison, so as much as I'd like someone in that position, but if I was going to have a like wow moment, to be Bastoni, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Revenite's got again. You gotta pick one. You gotta pick one, Rev. You gotta pick one.
Yeah, I know Pop's the same. Like we know he's the only one that the coach wanted, but it's time for a little bit. It's deadline night. It's a bit of fantasy,
Yeah.
But if you could just bring your own guy, maybe that would work. We I don't think there's ever been a single link credible between us and Bastoni. That was probably always ever just like real, just genuine
Mm-hmm.
paper talk. But um, yeah, look, a DM, great. But if you're to tell me a name that I could wake up tomorrow and go, oh wow, we signed that guy at 5 to midnight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he showed up at Kirby, and yeah, brilliant. But I think it'll be yeah. I think we'd be waiting a while.
Okay. Yeah, honestly, you gotta pick one. Gotta pick one. I don't. I are you really sold on Jao Gomez for Wolves? A lot of people I've seen a lot of people really like the player and or would be interested in bringing him possibly to the club and team. I don't know if he's not a player that like we don't already have that type of player on the team. I think.
Yeah, but Revenant, apparently Varela was a K Max special, so you know.
Yeah. Shout out K Mac. Shout out to K Mac. Uh,
Yes, Pops, fantasy. Okay, look, Pops, okay. I know you're an accountant, okay, but just soak up some of that sunshine. Okay, imagine you're on the beach, okay. Imagine you're on the beach, Pops, right? You're on a weekend off. You got one of those weekend off, okay? For one say you got a rum and coke or whatever it is, right? You got the umbrella up, and it's James Bond type settings, right? The way like the girl walks up out of the surf, okay? So if one player could come walking up out of the surf, James, who would that one player be? That real fantasy player, okay? Doesn't have to be realistic, okay? But that one
What
player,
year is
you're
this?
lying
Is this
there.
current
Yeah.
year? I just want to make sure.
No, this is Doctor No, man. That's the first one. He's
I
like,
mean, like, yeah, I didn't know.
yeah.
Maybe it could be Bo Derek or something like that. I don't know. Like, that's like old. Like,
No, no, no. Like, it's the no, Pops will know the one. She comes walking up out of the surf. Everyone knows her name. I'll let the boys in the chat put it in. Arsenal Andres. There you go. In the little two piece. She's been deep diving for shellfish, nothing else.
I
But
know.
yeah, that
I'll drop
the
the pause
fantasy
for you.
player.
Yeah.
Yeah, So who is it you want to? Pops. Come on, just give yourself that one fantasy player. Forget about like what we need or that one guy that if you could buy in the next 4 hours, it's all about Musiala, Verts, anybody like that. Come on, we all know the DMs. Come on, I'm bored of DMs and centre halves. Come on, who's everybody's famous or favorite? Like one time, like get Musiala and get Verts. These people. That's what I'm interested in because we're not going to buy anybody. So come on, let's get in.
Here you go. This is for honesty too. I mean, Stefan looks pretty happy in here. He looks happy.
Jesus, come on. She must. Yeah, exactly. She's 85. She's already some. Come on, give her props, man. She was. Let's remember her in Doctor No. No need to bring up the. If I when I'm 85, I'm sure I'm. You know.
Yeah.
He looks very young.
I'm
I didn't.
64. I'm 64. He's a little Beatles
They
for
gave
you.
him the number 8. Gave him number 8.
They
Oh,
gave him the 8. Yeah, you want to see that
that's his
again? Yeah,
star.
no,
Yeah.
that's big
Oh,
shout.
yeah. Okay.
Gave him a prime number.
Like I said, I want to see him play every week. I don't want him go. Somewhere where it's Barcelona bullshit. This is. I mean, it's the Austrian league. We're not. It's the more the when they get into the European side of stuff that will be different. But I mean, it's a first. No, it's 8 is not a prime number. We mean it's like he's not number 84. He's obviously
Right,
kind of
right,
probably one
right.
of the first team. Like that's all you
It's
want
kind
him
of
to
the
do
first.
is go somewhere and play
Yeah, any
every
number
single week.
between 1 and 11 is my.
Yeah.
I'm not saying prime number as in mathematics. I'm saying prime number as in like it's a coveted number is to have one of the first 11 numbers.
Yeah, like I said, there's no need for him to go somewhere and just sit on the bench and watch. He needs whether it's a team in Spain or whatever. He needed to go to a team. If he wasn't going to play for us, he needed to go somewhere that he was going to play, like every single week, and then bring him back. I don't really want to lose this guy, but yeah, the idea that he was going to go to Barcelona, it was like, oh, they're going to seduce him, and he won't come back. But you go there, yeah, I think it's just so unfortunate the way he got injured last year. If it wasn't for that, I think he'd be in our not our first team squad, every week, or in our first 11, but he'd be in the squad every single week. But yeah, this is probably a great move for him. Yeah, I hope so.
It's a great move for him. It's an opportunity for him to get minutes. It's an opportunity for him to like really get some get some playing time under his belt and make a real difference in a team that's going to be in the Champions League. They're going to be playing.
They play at the right level. Yeah, they play at just the right level, I think.
Yeah.
Of him,
It's not
them not being
Barcelona.
like,
It's not like Barcelona
yeah,
might have been a little bit of too high of a bar for him to like
exactly.
measure up
Oh
to.
Jesus, yeah. Like not
And
being too good that he won't get games,
right.
but not being so shit that there's no point in him playing there. He's actually going to get proper. I mean, and to be honest, like they're not bad even in Europe. Like they're not a crappy team. They're a good team.
Mm-hmm. Um, I'd also like to show this one too. This is a good picture since I see Hancho talking about Chiesa. He's already training with the club, which is great to see. Um, he's got a smile on his face. Apparently, he's he's extremely happy to be playing football, and he's extremely happy about this opportunity. I like the fact that you have I like the fact that you have an Italian player, and this is what I mean by I'm putting this little bit of a definition on it. Sometimes, like Italian players aren't necessarily over the moon about moving from Italy to England, you know. But it doesn't look like that he's holding up on like he's homesick or something. You know, he's looking.
Well,
it looks like he's looking at this opportunity as a real blessing in the sky for him to have a real chance to play in Champions League, make a real concerted effort of being a contributor to the club, you know, and apparently trying to beat Virgil in a race apparently right here. I don't know if he cheated or not on this one, but
well, look, that's all. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, he's joined the club. He wants to play here. I mean,
yeah,
he doesn't have any kind of special motivation to be here or to do anything. He's a player we bought.
mm-hmm.
Um, let's not get too sentimental in terms of him wanting to prove something, or be this or be that. He's a footballer. He's a professional player. We've signed him. He's here to do a job, and I'm sure he's happy to be here. I mean, it's a great club that he's joined. He was, as he said, he is in a career rebuilding type of moment because he had that kind of 19, like he had that kind of on the cusp of being one of the best tier 2 players in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Then he had a huge injury, and then it's like, okay, let's come back from that, and Allegri at Juve, probably, someone mentioned it, he hasn't won a league. He never won a Scudetto, because people were talking about, of course he did. Of course he did. No, he's never won a league at Juve. So it's kind of stalled for him. He went from being probably the best player at Euro 2020, which someone threw at me the other day. And I was like, look, dude, I respect your opinion, but I just want to repeat that again. He's like, yeah, Euro 2020, the one that was 4 years ago. Like, there's been a Euro since, and he didn't score a goal or didn't make an assist. I'm not slagging him off, but I mean, there's been a more recent tournament. He's had an ACL since then. We can all talk about the player from 2020. That was the guy that was being valued at, 70, 80, 90 million quid. Great. Like, if we can get that guy, because he's just had an injury, bad timing, I think definitely needs a fresh start and can fit into this team and look good and get back to what he was. Happy days for what we paid for. Like, he may as well be a free transfer basically for what we paid.
There you go. You sound a little sentimental right now.
No, for what?
I'm
Look, for
joking
10,
with you. I'm
no,
joking.
no, 10 million quid in today's money. Oh, come on, what do you get for
Oh,
that?
absolutely. It's a steal.
What do you
Absolutely.
get for that? You don't get anything
Absolutely.
for that.
Exactly.
Not someone like him who literally, like I'm saying, 4 years ago, 90 million if you want it. Like he was being talked about in, oh, don't get Salah, get Chiesa for, what this kind of, well, I know it was earlier, but it was that kind of, he's better than Salah, bring him in, this kind of thing. Because at the time he was looking that good.
Hmm.
So if you can get a player who has that ability, it's almost risk free. It's a no brainer. It's this, it's that. But I'd also like it to be not just a no brainer or it won't go. I'd actually like it. I'd like to see him become the player he was for us because that'd be pretty special. The guy, he is special. He is a great player. He always was. He's tricky. He does things that fans like to watch. He's not
Oh yeah.
just a he's not
He's a
just a hard
he's a
working
very
winger.
very
No,
useful.
but he's class. He does the stuff the fans like to see. He's got flair. He's got bits and pieces that you know you want to see in your forward players.
Yeah.
Not that Salah doesn't really do kind of. It mightn't always come off, but it's the kind of stuff that yeah, it's just what you want to see. And like I said, look, for 10 million quid, 12 million quid,
How about
if
it?
he stays
Let's have
fit,
that. Yeah.
yeah, look, stick him in the squad and see how it goes. And if he's happy to be
Who's-
here and he can settle and all of that, that's the most important thing. Get his family in, get everybody in, get him settled quickly, because they're even talking about him getting minutes against Man United. So, you know,
Yeah, I saw that too. Um, I've seen some say that they would, some say that he possibly won't. Because I did see that because Slot did speak on that at his interview at his
oh yeah, he
press.
said there's no chance he starts, but he was
Right.
like, man, maybe.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. If
Yeah.
you're even thinking that quick, the fact that he was even going, maybe, but
Yeah. Yeah.
probably not.
Is
Okay,
shows that the
yeah,
guy's
that's
got
great.
talent, and it's just a matter of is he fit and ready to rock and roll. There was a shout for this
No,
too.
I'm all for Chiesa. Just by the way, I am all for Chiesa. A guy who a few years ago was like, nah, he's a pipe dream. He'll
Oh,
go somewhere else. Totally. Yeah, it's because he was so good and so expensive. It's just like one of those players. Yeah, look, if we got him before he went to Exfil, cool. But we're not going to spend all that money on him. But it's just mad the way football works, really. Like the idea that we've gotten him for this price, and hopefully it's a bit of a steal because I was reading some stuff on him. It's like
oh,
a lot of the stuff has been kind of worked
I can't.
against them. You know what I mean? It's been kind of
Yeah.
working against them, and it's not just like there's been too many people talking about his fitness and his injuries, and it doesn't add up because it really isn't that big a deal. It really isn't any. I think he's kind of been locked up by Juve. Juve isn't a great team. It isn't at all. Under Allegri,
No.
they're not. So I think he's been kind of locked down by different things. So, like I said, the wingers in our team, I think Salah and Diaz look way more, if not productive, but they're way more busy and like they look like they're having a bit more fun. So I think this slot system suits those wide players a little bit more. And he's a wide player with skill, with pace. So I wouldn't be surprised if we got something a little bit, a little bit handy here.
You're getting some karaoke requests in the chat there, Bry.
What
Uh,
are you talking about?
I could bring up before I bring up the Kelleher.
What song are you talking about?
It's going to, I think it's going to One Kiss by Dua Lipa.
Oh no, no, Julipa, please, come on, no more. There's enough. My song for you. Oh, sorry, just one kid.
Oh no, is it from Italy? Sing to the tune of Just One.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
okay,
Cornetta.
okay.
I thought you were doing Just One. I thought it was.
Oh no, it's a, do you not know that thing? It's a da, da. No, so yeah. Now we see you nearly got me to do it. Yeah, I didn't do it.
Ah,
No, no, no. Yeah, it's the
Oh,
it's a
almost, people. We almost did it. I get it. I thought it was one kiss. I thought um, one
no,
kiss
no,
is all I need.
no.
Possibilities. That's what I thought.
Probably worked too. Probably worked too. But it's an
And then they
old
said
lady.
one,
Well, it's
yeah, it's
not.
just one kiss from Italy is all I, something like that. I thought one kiss from
No,
Italy
no, no. It's an
is
old
just all
tune
I
from an
need.
opera. It's an old opera
I
tune,
got you. I got you.
but it's in the 80s. They use it to advertise ice cream in England,
Okay.
which is the
Okay.
cornetto thing, and it's
Oh,
just
the
one
cornetto.
cornetto.
Oh, cornetto.
Yeah,
I see.
yeah, it's that tune. So that's what everyone knows it as. It's some old Italian opera tune.
I got
Yeah,
you.
O Solo Mio is the thing. Um, but yeah, in the 80s. It's not known for advertising
See, I
ice
was
cream.
sitting there. I was working out the song in my head to a different tune. Now I feel silly. My fault. My fault. Got Dua Lipa always on my mind.
Well,
Um.
one day she will respond to that DM, and we shall be
Yeah.
having the celebrity wedding that YouTube deserves.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
Balkman and Dua Lipa in the
There you
desert
go.
in
There
Scottsdale.
you go. Maybe. Maybe. Um. Also, there I did see this news from Honesty. It wasn't really news. It was just, you know, Twitter based, you know, rumors and or speculation with us now having Mamardashvili. Um, they were putting out there as to whoops, put it in here. How expendable is this player now? Meaning Mr. Kelleher. How does is there something that you could see being uh, a deal that comes across the table that you just have to uh, take advantage of if Kelleher is if there's an offer for Kelleher, or do you sit tight, because you don't want to necessarily not have a backup keeper, considering you're probably not going to call off the loan deal and bring in
No, no, no. I hear you.
you
Yeah,
know
yeah. We turned down a big bid. Turned down a big, big bid. I mean, that's a lot of money they offered us for him. We said no. Okay. I think that pretty much put everybody else out the game. What they said, 30 to 35, or like, that's not enough. Okay. Um, he's not going to go anywhere. Nobody's going to come in now at more than that. Not a chance. It's probably 75% to do with his ability and 75% or 25% to do with not being able to replace him.
mm-hmm.
But I'm not at all like I love Forest. I picked him for them as one of the three because they're the kind of club that I mean they're the one of the few clubs that can actually do that. They're
Do
just
that deal, right? Yeah,
yeah, or that would because loads of keepers have moved in the last 24 hours. Loads
there
of them.
have been there's been quite a number of keepers
Yeah,
that have found new.
yeah.
Yeah.
We were offered Turner from them, and because we turned them down, they're going to buy somebody else, and then Turner's going somewhere else, and then Sam Johnston is going to go somewhere, and because Ramsdale is going to Southampton, someone is going to go somewhere else, and yada yada. Yeah, there's been about 4 or 5 goalkeepers that have moved or are being touted with being moved over the last 12 hours because of this shit. Like, I mean, that's a huge amount of money that if Nottingham Forest had come into us on day one of the transfer window and
Mm-hmm.
said we'll give you 30 million quid for Callagher, we would have he'd be gone. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. There's no way we're turning that down. That is a fine deal. Because we would have said, yeah, plus another 5 to 8 in potential add-ons or sell-ons or whatever. But 30 million quid for Keller giving us an entire yeah, we would have still signed the Mamrashvili guy to bring him in as replacement for Ali next year, but we would have signed a Kelleher replacement as well, some younger guy, and we would, but they just left it way too late. It's like, yeah, that's a great price
Mm-hmm.
for Kelleher. Probably not at all. Like we say, not enough, but there's no way they were far off. It's not like they were 20 million off. They were probably only about 5 million off. But you just given us no time now to replace the guy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, because like honestly, it's like Neto has gone to Arsenal to replace. Uh, Ramsdale has gone to Southampton because Kev has gone to Bournemouth. You know, it's and Johnson is so we
A
the
lot of
guy that
keepers, a lot
yeah
of number
the
two
guy that
keepers.
we could have picked up to fill in that gap between now and next season, they're all gone. If ours had just showed up a month and a half ago and said, "Yeah, we'll give you that money for him," we probably would have done the deal because
Mm-hmm.
that's a great price. That to me, that's his price. 30 plus anything that might come out, you know, your way down the line in terms of add-ons, bonuses, sell-ons, something like that. That's exactly what you should be getting for him. You know, they just left it with typical Forest thinking, oh, we'd be clever and we just show up on the last minute and offer him a load of money and we get a deal done. No.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Forest, what do you
You know,
think about the James Ward-Prowse move?
did he go there? Did
Yeah,
he? No way.
this just happened 18 minutes ago. James Ward-Prowse has
Wow.
completed his Nottingham Forest medical ahead of a
Yeah.
season-long loan from West
Oh,
Ham.
alone. Okay. Okay.
Loan, right,
Okay.
right.
Yeah, that's a great move for them. I mean, he's a great, yeah. For anybody
West Ham's
less,
really trying to make a concerted effort to make a move this year. It looks like, or make something of a announcement this year.
yeah, for anybody lower than 10th, um, 9th, 10th, he's a great player. I think. Prowse. Sorry, one sec.
Carlos Solera has also completed a medical ahead of joining West Ham from PSG. And he's a Spanish international set to move to the London Stadium on another season-long loan. They're definitely looking at trying to make a real play for some type of Europe this year. It looks like. Yes, and also Nat Phillips is going on loan again for the season at Derby. I don't know if is it Malante. I don't know if you can see or not, but is it do they have the option to buy at the end of the year with Derby? Like I said, I don't think that Nat was really too bothered whether he has to play or not. And let's see. You know who? And I'll wait for Brian to be back for this one. It was an interesting deal out there, a possible deal at least out there, which was make me wonder where and what's going to happen with this particular player. But let me pull the player up too, so you guys know who I'm talking about. I know you guys know the player, but there was reports apparently that
Sorry.
there are reports. No worries. There are reports out there that Manchester City was actively looking to bring in Evan Ferguson.
Yeah.
That's interesting shout. Like, I was not expecting that. I mean, he's a good player. Obviously, the Irish international. I know is a player that Brian rates as well. You think that's obviously a good move for him? I mean, it's a definitely a.
Oh no, I don't think they did it in the end, but I think they were like, he's a guy that a year.
Oh, I know.
Ago,
I'm not saying they did it. I'm not saying they did it. I was just saying, I was saying that it would have been or could have been.
I mean, he's better than. He in probably 2 years, 2 years ago, the idea would be Brighton were looking for 90 million for him, but I don't think they ever actually asked that for him. But you're looking at somebody who everybody is saying would be this and that. So if he stays fit and he stays scoring goals the way he was, there's no way he's better than Solanke, he's better than Ollie Watkins, he's better than a couple of these people. It's just the way it's gone for him over the last couple of years or the last season, injuries wise. But he was being like rated as someone Man United were going to go and get. We were going to go and get.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was too early for that. But if you want, if you're telling me that a guy like Solanke is going to Tottenham for the money he's going there for, then yeah, Evan Ferguson shouldn't be an £80 million player, but in 2 years' time, he probably will be.
Right.
Because look, he's never done any, he's only ever done bits and pieces. His numbers aren't amazing. His appearances are kind of fairly minimal.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like he has the build, he has the ability, and it's all about potential with someone like him.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, if someone like Solanke, after one good season, not one good season, but a kind of a standout season after building up a bit of a career, gets a move like that to Spurs. If Ferguson was to stay fit and score, say 15 to 17 goals next season for Brighton, too right he'll be going somewhere for money like that. Because he's a striker, he's a finisher. No doubt about it. Big, strong, powerful, and he can bury the ball. Can you do it for Man United? Can you do it for Madrid? Can you do it at a higher level? Can you do it here? Can you do it there? Who knows? He's a young kid, but he's got everything going for him. No one ever when we sold Solanke to Bournemouth for that money. Could you ever have imagined him commanding the kind of price that he's just commanded this year?
No.
So, I mean, that's football for you. So, the currency of scoring goals. If you can get someone even now, they can get you 18. That's what probably back in the day was maybe 24. Football is different now. There's nobody going out there getting 28, 29 goals.
No.
Maybe 17
unless
is the new
unless
25.
name is Highland or something like that. Yeah.
Exactly. So 17 now is elite in the Premier League.
Right.
So Solanke and Watkins, they did that and more, plus assists. So could a Ferguson in 2 years' time, he's been linked with us? I think he is a Liverpool fan.
I hope.
I think we turned him down. No, we turned him down. He was offered.
I thought it was vice versa. I thought he turned us down.
No, we turned him. Yeah, we turned him down. Okay. Yeah, look, sure, that happens. Everybody's been turned down by almost everyone's been turned down by all the clubs that didn't get him.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way it goes. But
I thought he turned us down because he wanted to get playing time, and he knew that there wasn't really a.
No. You're going back sort of way back in the day, kind of thing. But look, that we spoke about it a while ago. It's whatever, and we just reiterated there. The best strikers in the Premier League are a guy we got from Chelsea that for nothing, I think 3 million, that we sold for 15, has now gone to Tottenham. Ollie Watkins and Erling Haaland. That's your Premier League golden striker competition. I mean, come on.
Well, there's a lot of striker business going on. There's a lot of business also connected to. There's just another update here. There's also some news here. My phones are all going off at the same time here. Trying to see, make sure I didn't miss something. The Ipswich is apparently trying to sign Reece Nelson from Arsenal. Fulham is also another team, and Fulham and another 2 Premier League teams are also reportedly interested in getting the player as well. But yeah, I think the updates are coming in on about Wolves winger. Chiquinho is traveling to Mallorca. It seems like on a season-long loan. It looks like Rennes has signed the Al Ittihad forward Jota on a 3-year deal. Not Jota joined a Saudi Arabian club for a club record $25 million from Celtic last summer. And this is just reported.
They immediately tried to get rid of Jota after they signed him.
Yeah.
For a club record. Well, not a club record for them, but because they only had so many foreign players allowed. And he was, they spent a huge amount of money on him. That was a Saudi Pro League gone crazy. Mm-hmm. And they signed it proper, like not some like old over the hill guy. Like Jota is still a young player. Mm-hmm. And they tried to get rid of him basically immediately because they wanted to sign other foreign players. I mean, thanks for it. Was Nuno was the manager that went in there with them, I think. But just crazy, totally crazy. He hasn't settled there since. He should go somewhere and play football. Probably be an idea.
Yeah. Let's see. This is being reported. Sterling would prefer permanent move. Sky Sports News chief reporter Kaveh Sokal at Stamford Bridge has reported that Sterling, quote, Sterling himself would have preferred to have a permanent deal, but the prospect of playing under Mikel Arteta and playing for Arsenal in the Champions League is so enticing. Oh, still getting somewhere. Okay. Wait, hold on. Before I complete that Sterling news, this is just in. Liverpool winger Doak completes Middlesbrough medical. So he is now a Middlesbrough player for a season-long loan. Van Doak has just completed his medical with Middlesbrough. And back to the Sterling news, it was saying Sterling himself would have preferred to leave on a permanent deal, but the prospect of playing under Mikel Arteta and playing for Arsenal in the Champions League is so enticing and attractive, he would be willing to accept a loan. The player himself is waiting for the green light to join Arsenal. I don't think Sterling is being disrespectful by considering a move to a great rival of Chelsea. You have to put things in perspective. It's not the decision to leave Chelsea. If he leaves, he was taken to one side a couple of weeks ago and told he wasn't going to play. Chelsea have helped to find another club. Now they have got a deal that Sterling is interested in. We shouldn't be too hard on him. He's in a position where he has to move if he wants to play football. So good deal for him, I guess, Benedict Sterling, as I like to call him, Raheem Sterling, likes going to rivals. So apparently, hey, it wouldn't be too much of a stretch, but you can't hold it against him, I guess, as they're trying to say, because he just wants to play football, and the choices aren't exactly long, and he can't necessarily push for a deal himself. He has to kind of go with whoever really steps up and offers to bring him in. This just in as well. Ex-Chelsea striker Abraham leaves Roma for Milan, a team that we're going to be playing against. AC Milan have signed Roma striker Tammy Abraham. That was actually the player that yesterday we were talking about, Adrian. The player that missed the penalty kick was
I saw
Tammy
a lot of
Abraham.
people. I saw a lot of people giving out about that draw. I thought we had a great draw.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Well, I think we
I'm
have
not
one of the
saying
best draws. I
easy,
think we
but
got one of the best draws out of all the teams. I think we have possibly one of the best draws out of all the teams that got it. Because I think we got we could break that down. I could bring that up actually if you want to talk about that a
I
little
mean,
bit.
yeah, like even if you get look, to be honest, like
But yeah,
even if you
Tammy
get
Abraham on a season-long loan, the former Chelsea striker will wear the number 90 at San Siro. Go ahead, Brian.
no, it's like even if you get like, I just saw one of the lads text me. He kind of didn't read. No, he's not really 100% up on it. So he's like, "Oh, that draw wasn't kind to us." I was like, well, "Have you looked at it?"
No, it was.
Yeah, it's
Tomorrow,
like,
by the way, we will be doing a kind of a review. So we'll just do a quick look at this. I guess we can take a
yeah.
quick look just to
No,
show
I
you.
just
But
like
go
quickly
ahead.
to look at I mean, yeah, like they're great games. There's some good
Yeah, we're
games.
just tomorrow. The reason why I'm saying we're going to do something tomorrow, Brian, is because
Yeah,
tomorrow
no,
we'll do
that's good.
actuals. The schedule is
Yeah.
slated to be released tomorrow. By the way, for when and where these games are going to fall on our schedule. We're going to take a
Yeah,
real
I
deep
hear.
look as to see how
Yeah.
what games we'll have to be looking at. What games we'll have to see where we're going to be making trips or where we're going to be hosting these teams, and how it's going to impact our Premier League as well and our cup runs as
Mhm.
well. On top of that,
Yeah, no, just
but
on the kind of, yeah, on the overview of it, it's like, no, I thought it was great. I mean,
yeah,
you, when you look at the actual the format of it, it's even if look, even if you don't kind of do that well, you've kind of got a double chance to still get through. So the all the good games or all the hard games are at home. I mean, AC Milan, they're not that they're not what they used to be. Like Girona, Bologna, Lille, PSV. You only have to play Madrid once, and it's at Anfield. It's pretty much
yeah,
best you could hope for in terms of because you're going to get you're going to get two top teams, and I think of all the two top teams we could have gotten, I'm assuming we got Madrid and Leverkusen weren't pot one.
mm-hmm.
Girona weren't
The
pot
two,
one.
yeah, Madrid, and we got possibly one of the
PSV
most beatable
maybe.
teams. All the teams in top one are good, but I think we got one of the most beatable teams, all respect due, in RB Leipzig.
Oh yeah, Leipzig were pot one. That was the thing. That was the thing that was crazy. Yeah, Leipzig were pot one for Germany, and
Right,
Leverkusen were pot three.
right,
Even though they just basically went unbeaten for an
right,
entire season, but it's on coefficient over the last couple of years. So
right,
yeah, that's one of
right,
those. Yeah, I think we did really, really well out of that.
right.
I mean, what's the hardest game there? What is the hardest game there? Real Madrid. It's at home.
Right,
After that, what are you talking about? Maybe AC Milan away.
right,
Maybe Leverkusen at home. You still have another 6 games to get 18 points.
mm,
Yeah, it's really easy. It's not like it's making it like it's good and it's fun. There's loads of games, but it makes it really easy for a big team to qualify. Like Real Madrid will be, oh, we have to play Liverpool away, but they'll have like they'll have 3 other really easy home games and 2 other really easy away games, probably.
right.
So
Yeah, yeah,
it's nice. You get more of these kind of Real Madrid versus Liverpool games or AC Milan versus Liverpool. But when you spread it out, it actually at the end of the day, it's just more games to make it easier for you. And then everybody down to number 23 from 9 to 23 can qualify for the last 16, 8 places because top 8 go through to the last 16. There's 8 places left over. Places 9 to 23 go into a playoff to
Right.
fill out those last
That's
8
also,
places.
Brian, that was
So
why I was saying that the 10 games yesterday. That's why I
yeah,
was
so there's
saying.
loads of chances to
Right.
qualify. Like even if you have a total stinker for like a month in it, you can
Yeah.
if you're a big team, you can still qualify.
But the
Because
key is avoiding to have to do the play-ins because that's 2 more games that, two unnecessary games of putting onto the
oh, the
legs of the
playoffs, yeah,
players.
yeah, yeah. But it just means
And
that even if you don't qualify, you still have that chance.
right.
So like
Oh, and
all the
also
way down, yeah.
depending on how well you do in your run, it also will determine what team you actually have to play
Oh
against.
yeah, totally. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, the worst will play the best, and the best will play the worst, and yeah,
Yeah.
it will end up still being like say from the 9 to 23 that don't qualify automatically.
Mhm.
It will probably end up still being the majority of the better teams from that draw will qualify to make up the last 8, the second half of the last 16. Um, 'Cause it just gives you enough chances to mess it up. Like back in the day, basically, it was a knockout competition. We went into it as the champions of Europe. Nottingham Forest came into it as the champions of England, or was it the other? But anyway, we met them in the first round, and they knocked us out.
Right. Right.
One game, you're out. That's it. 90 minutes, bang, you're gone. See it. That's your
Right.
European campaign over. This is literally the opposite of that. It's like you could probably lose 4 games in this and still make it to a final. 4, maybe
Right.
even 5, and still
Yeah.
get to a Champions League final. Whereas back in the day, you lose 1 game, you're out.
Yeah.
So this is the ultimate mitigation against that. It's like, okay, Real Madrid give them enough chances, and yeah, they give Girona an extra game, and it gives Bologna a game, and it's like, yeah, cool. But we all know what it's about: more games, more money, and fewer chances for the guys get until you get to the basically straight knockouts of the semis and the quarters, and then well, look, that's on you. You know, if you can't pull it out of the bag, then that's on you.
Hmm.
But we'll
Yeah.
give you every chance to make it to the qualifiers, and we'll sell it to the smaller clubs by saying you have greater access and you have more games.
Yeah. It does give off that impression. It does give that
Yeah,
impression.
but in essence,
I,
it makes it
I have
more
a
predictable.
fun question for you because this is something I heard on ESPN FC. I'll give them the props for this question, but it was something that made me start to think about it. And I was like, I don't know if I like it or not. I was gonna put it out there for you guys and also obviously for Brian and our co-pilots. Um, uh, okay, I just seeing Leicester just did a deal. Um, if hypothetically, if they were able to tweak this deal or tweak the deal, tweak this system, would you be more? Would it be more intriguing if the same way you saw the teams, um, the teams like get pulled out of the bin or like or the balls get pulled out and they were like they got to show the names and then they picked the schedule. An adaptation to it being after the first round, they have another broadcast similar to what you just saw for the draw, and it would be basically the teams, depending on your position, top team gets to pick their opponent, their next opponent. Would you be open to that? There was something that they
Mm.
that's something that they were throwing around as being a way that they wanted if they could if they could make some change or adaptation to the game or to the not the game but to the actual breakdown. So in essence, hypothetically, let's say let's say let's say Bologna ended up making it to the next round. You know, we made it to the next round as well. and we're the top seed. And hypothetically, Bologna is the worst team. I don't know if they are or not, but let's just say they're the worst team or the lowest coefficient team in the pot or in the bag. What you as Liverpool could say, we want to pick that team, or you could say we want to pick.
God, no.
Would you be? It'd be almost like it's almost like a draft, or almost in a sense.
No, God, no.
You wouldn't want that to happen.
You can't just get to say, oh, we want to pick the worst team, we want to play them. No, it needs to be. Yeah, no, look, man, just keep it random as much as possible. Keep it.
Okay.
No, people. Oh, it's fixes this, it fixes that. It's like, no, you can't have a big team going. Oh, who do you want to play? Oh, Real Madrid. Well, we want to play them.
Mm.
Real Madrid get to choose. Oh, we pick the worst team. No, just they've made it easy enough for all of these teams to get to the point where, yeah, look. It should be It should be open competition.
Right.
If you're better than everybody, you don't need all these. It's like someone said it to me today, and they were talking about we weren't just talking about top players, and they said, look, the best players don't need everything to be going in their favor all of the time to perform.
Mm-hmm.
As in, the best player can go to a club where he's living in a hotel, doesn't speak the language, yada yada. Only he'll still go out on the pitch and bang in goals or be the best defender. The best players don't need everything to be in place for them to achieve, because they're just the best players. If everything is in place for them, they will, but it doesn't have to be like that. It's like the best clubs. If you're the best team, it doesn't all have to be set up for you to win no matter what. You'll just win anyway. The best clubs will win out. And of course, you won't win every year because that's knockout competition. That's what I fell in love with as a fan.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the same for players. Look, some players, they need everything to be perfect. Stan Collymore, notorious for it. Everything had to be perfect. And then you could certain people like that, or whatever it might be. But other guys, it can be, lashing, playing on mud. He doesn't speak the language. He doesn't even know what country he's in. He'll still go out and bang in a hat trick or be the best player on the pitch. So they try to take away the drama, the kind of, oh, Real Madrid, oh yeah, they can lose a game and that would be great for Leipzig to beat them. Wow, well done, Leipzig. Yeah, Leipzig, you beat Real Madrid. But guess what? Real Madrid have 7 other games. So over those 7 games, they'll definitely get enough points to qualify. So yeah, good luck to you with your famous win. But Real Madrid, they'll still qualify. Like a real famous win is when you knock them out of the competition. Like Buster Douglas. Like, that one time that, like, you actually knocked them out. Yeah, you beat them, but they still went in and, because 23 teams and yada yada. But you got your big night in the sun where you got drawn against them at home and it was a one-off game. So yeah, you got to beat them. That's what they're trying to sell to the smaller clubs. But at the end of the day, there's so many games and there's so many back doors into it that they'd have to lose. Real Madrid would probably have to lose 7, well, maybe 5 games to not qualify. And they're not going to do that. That's not going to happen. So it might give you the odd, kind of spectacle or something. But at the end of there's just you get enough chances to come back. That
it was the program I was watching on ESPN. They had their commentators were kind of saying how they're talking about the process, the new system, and how it works, and yada blah.
Yeah.
It was what's his name? He's from Philly too. Gab, and then there was someone else though.
It's going to take a bit of time. Like it's the first time, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to take a bit of time to shake it down and see how it works.
Yeah.
Like, let's not judge it. Let's see how it actually
How yeah,
is it better? Is
how
it
offering?
worse?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it needed a bit of shake up. It was a bit stale. It was a bit boring because you knew in the group stages, oh look, it's Man City and PSG, and then Zagreb and fucking Young Boys. Well, obviously they're going through. That was
Yeah.
getting stale and boring.
Well,
No.
but that is kind of what I get stale and boring. But I mean, like, imagine if they do that for the World Cup. Would you say the same thing?
Oh no, this is well, no, it's well, the World Cup international is kind of different, but I mean,
But I mean,
this
they
is what
would
they're going to try
obviously,
and do.
yeah, they would obviously like scale it to whatever way they would have to scale it. But
Yeah, no, no, they will tinker. Don't worry.
yeah,
Oh yeah, if they can change something, they will. But no,
yeah.
I like the fact. Look, there's good and bad about this.
Mhm.
They've taken away some of the stuff that is predictable, but they've kind of what they've done is they've made it less predictable on the surface, but actually more predictable overall. But I'm fine with that because that's just where we are now. Like I'm not expecting Stoya Bucharest or Nottingham Forest or something like that to go and win the European Cup because those days are gone. It's going to be Madrid or City or maybe Chelsea or us or something. I mean, it's only or Bayern. It's only going to come from about 5 or 6 clubs. So it's just which one will it be this year? It's not like, oh, will Sociedad win it this year or will Bologna or no. This has just made it more interesting to look at.
Yeah.
But the results will be, I mean, you could put 100 quid on the four Champions League final semi-finalists now, and you wouldn't be far off every year.
Mhm.
It's not going to be Girona and Valencia and Fenerbahce and Slavia Prague. It's going to be
Wow.
City, Bayern,
Right.
Real Madrid, and Barcelona,
Wow.
probably.
Wolves forward Fabio Silva has joined Las Palmas on loan for the 24-25 season. The Spanish side will have no option or obligation to buy Silva as part of the deal. That is I remember when he went to the Wolves for what was like, I think at the time for them, a record deal.
Oh, big money, 38, something like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
big money.
just never clicked for him. But people, we are going to allow for you to enjoy the rest of your Friday. We are closing in on the end of this transfer deal deadline, and it does not look like we are at the moment going to have any other acquisitions join Liverpool. But who knows? It could be something in the next hour or so. If it does, I'll certainly be posting that on my Twitter account or even on my TikTok account now that we have a TikTok account. Um, Manchester United have completed, it's just been announced that Manchester United have completed the Ugarte signing. That is now an official deal. But Ugarte will not be eligible to play against United for the United game against us on Sunday. By the way, as he is not going to be registered in time for it, so we will not see Ugarte in United's midfield. Unlike them, we got the business done early enough so we could see our acquisition be in the game, but they will not be seeing their last minute acquisition be a part of the deal, just so you know. But Irishman, is there anything you want to say to people before we bounce and get on with our
No
Friday?
problem. No, just enjoy your evening, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
Okay. Okay. Sentiments the same from me. I hope that you guys enjoy your Friday evenings or Friday mornings or afternoons, whichever the case might be for you. We will be having a show tomorrow, same time, same place, and it will be a good show because hopefully by the time the show goes live, we'll have the schedule set and ready for us to know what our Champions League matchups are going to be and where and who we're going to be playing against, or what time in part of the schedule we're going to be playing against those teams. And also, we'll probably bring up some other news, some last-minute news if there's anything that goes on this last hour before we get done. And also, as always, your questions and your comments are always appreciated. So hopefully you'll be here to join us tomorrow to participate in what we call the fun and festivities. But I would say most of all, out there to all the Chicken Littles, don't worry, everything will be don't worry, Bobby McFerrin style. Don't worry, be happy. We'll be okay. And to all of our Reds out there that are truly, truly looking forward to this season, truly, truly looking to support this club, truly looking to continue to muster on and enjoy this campaign, I say, up the Reds, people. Up the Reds. See you guys tomorrow.